Hello, hello. We're gonna finish this. I woke up about 30 minutes ago. I am not removing my hood. I am completely vibing right now. So, yeah, I would not do this, but today I am gonna just chill and sit here and finish these transcripts. And then I'll make a video about it probably later. I'm not really 100% sure when. I have some other coverage that I need to do for other things, and that might take some time, so it might not be today. It might be over the weekend, admittedly. All right, just got to do some really quick back end stuff. I tried to get some of this done before I went live today, just so it wouldn't be as quick of a wait before we got into it. I put that. Let's go back to Withering. Let's go back to Withering Waves. It usually does pretty good. All right, let's see if we can get coverage from that. That's fine. Let's say yes. And then I just need to switch over to start the Twitch stream. All right. Again, just vibing, okay? Just vibing. I don't even know. All right, so we're picking up kind of where we left off. There was a little segment there where he had spoken to someone that was loosely connected to Freem, Pink Chew, Tectone, whatever else. It's important, but it's been said before. I didn't need to get into it. I just want to hear the transcripts and kind of go through that. And I'm waiting for that to get to the Tectone part, even though I will admit that the cross between Tectone's lawyer and Pink Chew is actually pretty substantial as far as new stuff, or as far as where the defense is going. Yo, what's up, Prince? How are we doing today? Sorry about wearing a hood. I'm just vibing. All right, we're gonna finish these though. Here we go. Let's start.
That it's just a civil case, but it's already bad.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Oh, he's still on the phone
so
with him.
okay, I'm gonna keep reading, but if you have anything, just message me or just type it in chat. But I really do appreciate it. I seriously do. Like you, thank you. And,
Okay,
and don't worry, you
thanks.
didn't say anything crazy or anything that will get you in trouble.
I just told the truth.
Yeah, that's it. You just told the truth. That's it.
Mm.
That's
Okay,
it.
have a good stream.
Okay, bye.
Okay.
All right, let's keep going.
All right, that's not
Interesting. Right. So she claims, or she says, and I believe her, that Freem would basically talk about the abuse with her constantly, about how bad of an abuser he was, and she would consult her for that. Which then Freem had was upset. She had the things that the cameras outside and stuff like that, his search histories and shit. And Tectone used that to go to Pink and be like, hey, look how fucking insane this woman is. We need to stop her. And
my internet
she
is
started to be
dropping bad
friends
right
with
now.
Pink, or she was already friends with Pink. She started talking
I
to
don't know
Pink.
why.
And Pink essentially had the same story as Freem, despite never talking to each other, and also despite it never really being public. So it was like, why would they lie to this girl when they both were not public about it and didn't talk about it for a long, long time? It makes no sense why they would lie. Okay, let's keep going. I just said your testimony. John introduced you to send him a text messaging, asking if you could suck his dick that night. Yes, he told me I needed to ask to suck his dick to show he could trust me because I tried reaching out to another girl and talk about what he has done. What was the date of that? June 28th, 2024. That was the month before hospitalization. That was the night before. No, hospitalization was July. I'm sorry, July 28th. Okay, thank you. So Mrs. Locke comes in here real quick and defends Pink Chu and says that the guy's getting the dates wrong, and she corrected him, and we go on. Was the date of this? That was July.
I'm actually quite perplexed. I'm not sure if this is a new thing, if this is a Texas thing, if this is a 4th district thing, but the ability for, or if it's like for specific cases of SA because of cross-examination, whether or not, victims have a little bit of leeway. I've never actually seen an interject like this by the council. It's quite odd, I'll be honest with you. And the fact that he's allowing it, but I don't know, maybe it's just a thing and that they just kind of know this is going to happen.
July 23rd. I don't know if she can authenticate it. Judge, may I approach? You may. By Mr. Poirier and Pink Chu, that is fair and accurate representation of those conversations that you had with John, I believe from July 28th, 2024, leading into July 29th. Yes, I remember. Okay, and this is fair and accurate copy. Is that correct? Yes, I believe so. Yes. This is Tectone's lawyer, Mr. Poirier, and I'm going to mark and offer this as Respondents Exhibit 3, 2, and 3. Your Honor, I would offer them at this time. No objections. Respondents 2 and 3 are admitted. Permission to publish, Your Honor, you may. Again, Pink Chu, at 7:44 p.m. on July 28, 2024, you say, love you. And then what do you call that? An emoji? Whoa, the big time. This is it. Tectone's big case. Yes. Okay, what does that emoji signify? Happiness, nervous. Okay, hope you're having a good day. Sorry, last thing, as a thank you, can I sucky I assume you meant your dick tonight? And then another emoji, and what does that emoji signify? A mouth opening. Okay, this was the day before you went into Austin.
That does indicate consent, by the way.
Oaks, yes. And when you went into Austin Oaks, they did a screening process with you. Is that fair? Yes. And they would have, Judge, may I approach? You may. Are you going to introduce all of the records? I am.
See, this is such a weird interjection. This usually cannot, usually you object or you sustain. I don't understand this back and forth between Mrs. Locke and Tectone's lawyer.
This is excerpts I have. They're voluminous, so I have them on a flash drive. Judge, I don't have an objection, but I think the entirety of the records needs to come in, not just the sections. I don't know if they're coming in under the business records affidavit. Judge, I have an electronic copy of the records. The judge says, okay. So you're offering an electronic copy of the entirety of the record.
Interest in the clarification of the court, because there would have been an objection if it wasn't in the entirety, because Pink's lawyer does not want this taken out of context. They want the full record to be available because they believe that if it's selective, that it could potentially paint the wrong picture entirely.
Mr. Poirier, correct. Okay, is that Respondents 4? This is Respondents 4, and I'll represent to the court and opposing counsel that what they are. Okay, and any objections to Respondent 4? No. In its entirety? No, Your Honor. All right, Respondents 4 is admitted. Judge, can we take a comfort break? Sure. How much time? Not much. I think after this witness, we'll take a lunch break, maybe not an entire hour. They take almost an hour break. The court, please proceed. In this time frame, Axion got a salad. This is Tectone's lawyer. Thank you, Your Honor. Cross-examination continued. So this is Tectone's lawyer against, Pink. Ashley, again, I think when we broke, we were discussing you going into Austin Oaks. Yes. And before you went into Austin Oaks, you sent John a series of text messages, and you guys had a text conversation about your decision to go into Austin Oaks. Is that correct? Yes. And that's what we see on the screen behind us. Is that fair? Yes. Our discussion, yes.
I'm pretty sure that brief break that
Sorry if I ever hurt you, and I can't wait.
she's admitting that there is some issues with her mental health here, saying that sorry if I hurt you. Obviously, this is a one-way exchange. There is no ability to know back and forth. And if you take into account all of her testimony, all of her statements, then yes, this is not reflective of the true entire narrative, because at this point in time she was a victim. She said as much and she just didn't realize it, which, whether you believe that or not, that is the question. But at the same time, there are so many extenuating circumstances that the judge has to consider in order to make a verdict in this one specific thing that could literally be the weakest part of Pink's case. May not be enough.
To come back feeling better. I love you. Is that what you wrote, Pink? Yes. And did John direct you to write any of that? No, not that.
Ooh, okay. So that actually does show, and I thought that might have been the lead-in, but it wasn't.
Okay, just the other part about the oral sex.
Okay, there is some classification there. That's actually very generous from the lawyer.
Yes. So I would say this. I don't really think this is damning that Pink sent this, even though she at this point understood or was kind of understanding what was going on with Tectone. It's not really anything crazy. It's just her saying, like, I just want to feel better. Maybe she didn't want Tectone to bother her at that time. It's not much.
I mean, those things can be true, but they are statements to the record, and I do think that because they are her own words, it does weaken her case a little bit.
I will say the dick sucking thing is kind of insane, but the fact that she's saying Tectone told her to say that is weird.
Yeah, that is weird. But then again, it's about believability. Do you believe her testimony entirely? And there are some things that this lawyer is presenting that do shine light on some of the issues.
But, apparently it also happened to Freem. Okay, but that was...
And that is another issue as well. This is a trend. Again, something that has to be taken into consideration. And because Freem was essentially allowed to be part of the back and forth here, and I think that was on purpose, to be honest. It does give the judge more considerations as to how to rule.
Was the only part that he directed you to write? No, he's done it before.
Okay, very good answer.
Okay, and then he responds, Jesus Christ, all right. Well, be safe and trust your decision.
Okay, and then he responds, oh, he's talking about
Is that correct? Yes. He doesn't belittle you. Not in that text. Correct. In that text, he doesn't belittle you. No, not in...
So just using one little segment of something to try to provide an entire case, it's not enough. There's too many examples that Pink has that basically make Tectone look like he is an abusive person. This little segment here is not enough, unfortunately, in my opinion, to dispel all that.
In that text. Okay, he doesn't call you crazy. Not in that text. He doesn't call you psycho. No. He says, if you need me, just text me.
In a time where she's in crisis, where he potentially would belittle her. I don't ever sleep now.
Have my phone. I'm sorry you're going through this. Pink. Yes. So he's supportive of you in those texts. Okay.
I mean, I will say that Pink is a great witness. She had a little bit of issues, I would say, in the beginning with the cross, and then I think she really did pick it up, and then she might have stumbled here and there, but her answers are very assertive, very clear. She knows exactly how to be her best witness, unlike, which is I think what we'll see in the future, Tectone.
Sure. And for the sake of our questions about these text messages, that's what I'm referring to. Okay. In the group of text messages, he's not dismissive. No. He doesn't use any pejorative language, crazy, psycho, anything like that. Is that fair? Yes. Okay. And in fact, when you message him, hey, he says first thing, hey, are you safe? Yes. That's what? That's the priority for him, is making sure you're safe. Okay.
She doesn't say yes. She says okay, as like a question, kind of, but also answering the question because she has to. It's a very smart answer, because she knows he's leading and she's not going to play the game.
Is that correct? If that's what I'm not him, can't tell you.
Oh, okay. Interesting. She got a little bit rattled there, a little bit shaken there.
Okay. But that's what it reads as, right? That's what he wrote. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Then you respond with, I'm safe. Yes. I'm just trying to figure this out. And he doesn't say cool, don't care, good luck. He says, okay, keep me updated. Yes. And then you describe your sister coming to take you, going to Del Cetone. And then you eventually say, they're probably going to take my phone away. In other words, don't be surprised if I can't call or message you. Is that fair? Yes. And you say, John says, everything will be okay. And you respond, I love you so much. Please don't tell anyone. And John replies, 100%. Are you with your sister? Yeah, she's on her way. Can I call again? If not, that's okay. And he says, I need you to be strong. Yes, correct. Again, he's supportive. He's encouraging of you to get whatever acute mental health crisis you have going on addressed. Is that fair? I wasn't having, it was. I just wasn't feeling good. It wasn't acute. Okay.
Okay. I mean, she's trying to downplay the mental health issue. I do think that the mental health part of it will come into play. This is a tactic that is used obviously in these cases to question someone's credibility. It's really disgusting. But he has to do this. He has no choice. Although I will say the mental health crisis may have been attributed to the fact that she was being prescribed medication that was making her feel worse. And I do believe this was the part where she said that she finally got on the right medication, or she stopped taking them and she felt better. And that was part of the process of this particular situation. I think that's how this works in the timeline.
Okay. Well, we'll get this into some of those medical records. I mean, at the time, were you having some feelings, some thoughts of self-harm? I mean, yeah, I was. Okay. In a bad situation. Sure. And okay, maybe we have a different definition of acute mental.
Okay, so he's pressing. Yeah, this is pretty smart because he needs her to acknowledge that.
Health crisis, but you felt like you needed to go.
I just needed to get out of there. Well, that is a pretty big declaration. This helps her case when she says it like that.
I just needed to get out of there. Okay, and then again, John says, text me when you're on your way and please be safe, be careful. Uh-huh. Correct. And you eventually tell him, I'm going to Austin Oaks, and that's when you check yourself in. So this lawyer,
don't get distracted, Miz.
What is this guy saying? Big respect, Miz. It's nice seeing you still stream after everything that happened. I've been watching for 6 years, so it means a lot you're still going. I'm gay. So the lawyer is really honing in on the fact that at Austin Oaks, she went there, and Tectone was supportive, and she was supportive of Tectone, and they were saying, I love you, and they were saying, you're great, despite the fact that a month later, she basically files a report and destroys his life. And
this is a fair question. It is.
Says that he was a monster and all these terrible things happened. But at this moment, right before she went into Austin Oaks, she still believed that Tectone was this great guy, or at least that's what he's trying to show, is that Tectone was a great guy here, and that, he didn't do anything wrong. He was still texting you, but yet you were saying that he was abusive. Why are you calling him abusive when you're saying I love you? Okay, I want you to ask that process, and when you go into Austin Oaks, they ask you a bunch of screening questions. Is that fair? Judge, may I approach? You may. And they ask you a bunch of screening questions. Is that fair? Yes. They want to get to know your situation a little bit more. Okay. Is that fair? Yes. For instance, they're going to ask you on page 26 what you are allergic to, and you respond, chicken. Is that correct? Are you allergic to chicken? On my hands, I get red bumps. Yeah, you get red bumps, and you disclose that to the nurse at Austin Oaks, that you get red bumps if you touch chicken. Yes. And they ask you about a special diet, if you have a special diet going on. And on page 31, you talk about blank that you have at the time. Yes. Yeah, because you knew the importance. When you're going through the screening process, when they were asking you questions of being honest, accurate, and complete in your answers, is that fair? Yeah.
He's trying to get to the point where in her testimony about her situation, she never mentioned Tectone even then, but she would mention other things that were truthful, like her diet, indicating that she was a truthful person at that time.
Yes. Because you knew if you left something very important out, it could lead to
Yeah, he's trying to lead with that. I mean, it's smart. I mean, it's very weak in my opinion. Just because it's this one isolated incident. There's no other incidents that they're going to rely on to counter all of her other testimony. I just don't think it's they think this is the heart of the case. I think it's part of the case. I don't think it's the heart of the case.
disastrous results, right? If you didn't tell them about your blank allergy, for instance, and they touched you with a blank, you can get those red bumps. So what this lawyer is trying to do in a very boring way, holy shit, he is exhausting to listen to. He is trying to basically really hone in on the fact that she needs to tell the truth at this point. She's at a hospital, and she needs to tell the truth no matter what. And she is not, and she's telling the truth about allergies, but she won't tell, and he's going to get into this. She won't tell the truth about how Tectone was abusive.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you can. It's pretty basic. It's pretty layman terms. I think this is just a stretch, and the judge probably saw that, and with the amount that she's accusing Tectone of, and then this only being the thing that is being used as a reason, the judge is very aware of other, and they take other cases into consideration when they make their verdict, by the way. That's what precedent is. And this 4th District judge has a lot of history with these particular cases, and she's seen the ins and outs of them. I'm not sure, good or bad or biased or unbiased, whatever the case may be, right? But she probably knows to many different subject matter experts that have been called to the stand to talk about these particular cases, that women don't always, or men don't always realize they're in an abusive relationship until after, or until a certain moment, and that's when it all starts coming together, and then you start piecing it together. So even here, a month before or a month after the alleged allegations, which is what she put on her affidavit, because she had already said that she was experiencing this later and not now. You wouldn't necessarily piece it all together until after the fact.
Because you knew if you left something very important out, it could lead to disastrous results, right? If you didn't tell them about your allergy, yes. So understand that. That's why it's so important to be honest, to be complete, to be accurate in the answer you provided, to the best of my knowledge. And for instance, they asked you about your history of your present illness on page 15, and you indicated that you, quote, blah.
This is why they wanted these records. And I will say, it was important to get them. Without this, they'd have nothing. Without this, they'd have nothing. And Pink would have had everything because Tectone's mouth is so big and large and stupid that he just provided them a plethora of stuff.
Which is when I'm high stress situations. We don't know what that is. Okay, and then you go to say that was the reason that you believe John broke up with you. No, I don't. I don't. Oh, the first time, I don't believe that was the reason the first time. Okay, I broke up. Are you talking about the time where we, mutually talked, or you talking about the time where I broke up with him? So she broke up with him the second time, chat. The first time they mutually broke up. It's probably about her getting panic attacks. In the medical records, you describe it as blank, and that's why you believe John broke up with you was because blank. Do you mind telling me what that page was on? Sure, that's page 15. I don't see that. I just see blank. And that's how you, in those medical records, characterize your relationship with John. Is that correct? That you were friends? No. I'm just confused because you said blank, and that's the reason we broke up, but I can't find that on the pages. Okay. Can get that addressed to you. Okay.
Ooh. Wow. Trying to get her to answer something that wasn't actually in the pages. Trying to get her to step up and change something.
So the last line on history of present illness, description of acute illness or exemption of illness requiring admission. Is it on these printed pages? I just can't find them, or is this a separate page? So Pink Chew doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah, so it's on that screen that you should be able to see. Oh, it's just on the screen? Yes. Okay, and these are things that are wrote down because I don't believe that's my handwriting. Well, yeah, they would have, okay. Talked to you and you would have reduced what you had to tell them to writing. Okay, I'm just trying to understand. Sorry.
I don't know, man. She's winning this argument. Him not providing her more clarification, or trying to push her on her responses to this. This is a kind of it's a low point for the attorney, to be honest.
Yes. And again, you got details that you get blop. Do you get blop? I mean, anyone who is getting abused gets pretty blop. Probably depressed, I'm guessing. Okay, do you blank? I haven't in the past year since I've been out of the situation. Okay, but at the time you were, not in front of anyone. It was more of like by myself. I don't know what that is. So if it was by yourself, then why do you think that's why at the time of July of 2024, did you believe that was the reason John broke up with you? I believed they probably miswrote what I was explaining to them because I was probably crying.
Wow. I don't think he was expecting that. He might think this is actually good, but she's providing further clarification of something written on a paper that she probably hasn't looked at since this actual court case. And now she's trying to clear the record, which she can under oath, by the way. Unless he has the ability to, unless he has the ability to press her, which he may not. If he just leaves this as is, that's a good answer from Pink.
Okay, but the quotation marks there, you think that they maybe mischaracterized what you told them? I think they may have. Okay, it looks like they were trying to cut it down into pieces, and I think they probably weren't understanding what I was trying to explain.
Wow,
So
she's even
saying that.
I don't know why the lawyer is allowing her to clarify these in the matter that she is. He should be pressing her more based on what is in the record. But he's letting her go in hopes that she'll say something. I don't think this is a smart move by him. I think this is where he loses it. Right? He's already lost it. He had it, and now he's losing it.
While she was there, they weren't getting the full depiction because Pink Chew was crying like crazy. Okay, fair enough. We'll come back to that.
Interesting.
Do you think the nurse, though you were attempting to be accurate, honest, and complete in your answers, you think the nurse with training and certification probably wrote it down wrong?
Yeah, now he's trying to question it, thinking that he's got this avenue. Dude, this is actually bad. This attorney, no defamation, no slander here. I think this shows his bias a little bit, I'll be honest with you. That's not going to be enough because her answer is so profound. Well, no, it's because I'll let Ms. Kiff say it, but
well, no, it's because I was under like a lot of distress. I was just trying to explain everything as much as I could and putting that into one small.
That's an amazing answer. And listen, if you are if you are, doing cross examinations and your answer has got you at the end of this, I don't get it. I don't get it. This lawyer started off really good, fast and loose. I understood his narrative ties. I understood how he was going to end this. And this whole little tangent that he's going on now and not pressing her more. And the only thing he's going to say to her credibility is that she thinks that the nurse didn't write it. You think that the nurse is wrong and not her. What did he think? That she was not going to answer, well?
Paragraph. Got you. It's very hard
And he allows her to answer again.
to do that accurately. Got you. And okay, then on page 33, they ask you about your history of sexual victimization. Okay. And they ask you
She does
about,
not give him anything. It's very smart. Like she's a very smart witness. Very smart. Extremely smart.
your history of sexual victimization in the last 6 months. Do you remember that? Yes. And your answer at the
And some would say that is because she's being honest, which is fair.
time was blank, which is probably no. Is that correct? Yes. Because at the time, I didn't know that I was. Okay. And when they asked you that question, and again, this covers in the last 6 months, that is in blank. This is July of 29th of 2024, correct? Yes. And so going 6 months back, that would have covered both May 28th, May 29th incident that you've alleged of 2004 that you allege in your application for protective order. I think they're saying 2024. So basically what this lawyer's really trying to get into is Pink Chu never really talked about the fact that she was abused or neglected up until the fact that she got out of Austin Oaks and started talking to other people. And why did she never talk about the abuse? Why did she never say she was abused? Why did she never go to anybody? Why wasn't when there was a police officer she didn't talk about it? And why is she still saying I love you to Tectone? And this guy's really honing in on this right here. He's really trying to ream this one in. Really trying. Okay? So they ask you specifically, have you been sexually victimized in any way? Not sexually assaulted, but victimized. And your answer was no.
Oh.
Yes. And they go on that.
Yeah, okay. So this is actually a specific thing directed towards I don't know. Maybe this clinic has a propensity to ask all women that question, or maybe it's just standard. That's interesting.
Ask your entirety of sexual victimization again, not just sexual assault, not a criminal offense, but any sexual victimization at all of your lifetime, and you say no. But you clarify and explain that blank. Yes. So I don't know if this says no or yes. It's basically this guy's trying to say that regardless, you didn't say Tectone. You would agree with me that no point in this question do you mention intimate interactions that you had with John, that you don't discuss anything related to John. Is that correct? No, I did not. Okay.
Miss Kit Kat.
And you understood at the time that you needed to be honest, complete, and accurate in the information and answers that you were providing. To the best of my current knowledge. Okay, they also ask on page 16 of those, have you experienced any emotional, physical, or sexual abuse history in any way? And you disclose no. Yes. Okay, and that was the relationship that you were in 6 years prior to going into Austin Oaks. I was a child. Okay, so this might be no or yes. Regardless, it's not about Tectone. Do you discuss your relationship with sexual abuse in this answer? You mean with John? Wait, I'm sorry, I'm confused. I mean in any adult sexual victimization. Do you discuss that it's in any answer? No, I don't believe I did. So this guy's trying to basically say, you know what sexual abuse is and you understand this, yet...
I would say that this is a fair cross, and again, this is... he is winning this argument, which is the argument that he had before. I just think based on her answers and him not pressing her completely, and this is the biggest thing, not providing any other instances is the issue, because he's literally all in on this particular instance. And here's the answer, all right? you could be going through something, not realize it, not be willing to talk about it for many, many reasons because you're still in love with that person, whatever the case may be. And then after you get out of there, after you get on the right medication, after you stop taking the medication, after you start feeling better, you start listening to other people, you start talking to other people about your situation. You realize that, okay, he had me take all these medications. He had me do this for me. He had me do that for me. I didn't realize it at the time because I was getting swept up in this whole thing that it was this or that. And that's when you start putting it all together, you know. Um, which is convenient. I'm not from a testimonial perspective. It is convenient, but it is real life. That is what happens in some cases. Like the lawyer is trying to say that you've had these prior instances of sexual or SA stuff, so you should know what it means. You should see the signs. She pushed back and said she was a child, and that is true, and that's confusing for a lot of people. And even if like you go through this trauma as a child, you don't always figure it out. Some people don't figure it out for the rest of their life. Some people don't figure it out until they're 40s, 30s, 60s, 50s. Like there's no definitive timeline, and the fact that this person is trying to just go all in on this, I think it's I think it is probably a very bad decision, and it seemingly was because Tectone lost.
Why didn't you say this about Tectone ever? Okay, did you mention any sexual abuse in this answer at John's hands? I believe I only put blank in there. Okay, at any point in any of these records, do you discuss, according to your testimony, these multiple vicious, brutal sexual, coerced sexual encounters that you had with John? No. Okay, and again, this was just 2 months after the last alleged brutal oral sexual victimization that you had experienced. And before I had it confined and got clarification on what was going on. That's literally what this is all summarized, chat, is this guy is really honing in on the fact that it was just 2 months after the alleged brutal oral thing. She understands what sexual abuse is because she's had it before, yet for some reason she didn't say it when she was at Austin Oaks. She was texting Tectone the night before. She was texting Tectone afterwards. They were friends with benefits. So how does it make any sense? And you sent him that you want to suck his dicky. But you had been through sexual abuse before. Is that fair? You were familiar. Unfortunately, with what that looks like, with what that feels like, the dynamics evolved. It was very different. It was full blown, crying, pulling your pants down, raping you. And that is very different.
It's very graphic. It's extremely graphic. Wow. Yeah, because this whole I don't even want to stop on this particular
I understood what rape is. I didn't fully understand sexual assault.
That's fair. I think this is I think probably the judge is taking notes at this point in time because that answer is profound, and literally the lawyer's only cross or counter is this narrative that she didn't mention it at Shelby Oaks or whatever the place is called. And I'm using the movie from Chris Stuckman, which I had never watched, by the way. It's crazy. Like, what a stupid thing to put your entire case on. I mean, because the way she just put it there, it's very clear that is different than what she was experiencing in the relationship with Tectone. It was masked differently, and she was confused, and obviously she liked Tectone, and so all those things became confusing as opposed to her previous interaction because he's trying to push that she should know what it is, and she's making the distinction, no, I know what this is, but I didn't know what SA was. I think that's fair.
So Pink is basically saying she was raped, but she is not saying, she is saying that what Tectone did wasn't necessarily what she thought was rape, but what she thought what Tectone was sexual assault, and she didn't really understand sexual assault, so that's why she didn't say anything. She understood what full-on rape is. She didn't understand what Tectone did was wrong.
Yep.
Okay, I want to pivot, and I want to ask you about how you're released from Austin Oaks. Is that correct? May I have a moment? I'm sorry. Okay, my apologies. You're released from Austin Oaks, and you and
she's someone that just literally talked about her previous um trauma. And now he's trying to lead in with another question, and she rightfully is trying to get her emotions in check. He didn't take the time, he didn't console her, and he can. He's allowed to in these moments. But he's trying to go all in and trying to drive this point. And I'm sure the judge is taking notes of this as well. Because her answers are that good. And I don't mean it like that. She's telling the truth, which is why they're good. Or um why they provide uh her point of view, and it is not countered by this lawyer's attempt to try to suggest that she was doing this nefariously. She's made a clear distinction of what her frame of mind at that time, and it's actually pretty
John
good.
continued
It's really good. She's doing great,
communicating.
and it's not easy. Even if you
In
know the
fact, I
truth,
believe he is
it ain't easy to be cross-examined.
listed blank. Yes, you listed him as that. Yes, because that's where I was living at the time. So
Sure.
probably his residence.
Sure.
Okay, and you send John your patient access code so that he can call up to Austin Oaks so that he can find out more information. Is that fair? I don't remember if I did that. Okay, if that's in those text messages, would you have any reason to disagree with that? No. Okay, I want to fast forward to a post that I believe you made on X. I think we can get a formerly known as Twitter by this point in time.
And I think this is where the lawyer should have went as well, and now he's going back to this. I think this is important. She did post a lot of things on X. She's also posted many other things not related to Tectone on X. Not that would affect her character, but it could be. I don't know how much was allowed or what the judge was going to entertain, but there were aspects of her job that do lead into like role playing and stuff like this. Like that kind of stuff I would lead into more than this kind of thing. The fact that there wasn't an expert called into this trial as well, which would have been obviously extremely difficult for Pink Chew in many aspects, and maybe Tectone, because they both have trauma, so they have that shared connection in a relationship, which a lot of people do, unfortunately. It's kind of odd.
Time, Mrs. Locke. This is Pink Chew's lawyer. Well, what fun is that?
Whoa. This is so weird, man. Okay, I want to fast forward to a post that I believe you made on X. I think we can get rid of formerly known as Twitter by this point. Oh, okay. He's just interjecting a little bit with the X and Twitter banter.
Chew's lawyer says, what fun is that? Mr. Poirier, who's Tectone's lawyer, and this was on November 20th, 2024. You write on your Twitter, how are you supposed to feel if a guy abuses and makes you cry, then shoves your head on his crotch and demands that you suck him off, and his excuse is, quote, emotion just turns you on when you cry. Or when you're asking that you don't feel comfortable doing something sexual and he records you and demands you stop making faces and pretend you like it. Or you say you don't want to do it anymore and he shoves your head down until you throw up. Guilt trips you into believing blowjobs and says, do your job, you don't pay rent. I took you to a water park and you still owe me. And all you can do is sleep upstairs because you know what.
Why is he saying this? I mean, obviously the judge read this, and so he's going to try to get her to answer in a way that he feels like will be incriminating or revealing, but I don't know how he expects this to turn out good for him when all the other answers that she's provided have been very clarifying and profound, and obviously they're the truth.
But he's going to keep telling you what to do. Do you remember making that post? Yes. If you don't want to be here for this dude, leave, please. Like, then stop watching my fucking stream. If you're gonna cry about this, I just permed you. Get out of my stream. Like, I'm sorry, we're going through this. Like, what do you want, bro? Shut the. Then you leave. You don't have to be here. What do you want me to fucking be doing? Like, just leave. Okay, and this wasn't a private post, correct? It was on an alternative account with a very low following. It was really just for close friends and smaller fans, not like my main account. So this is Pink Chew on her alt account. This is when she was, she tweeted about Tectone, but not saying his name, and everyone knew it was about Tectone and knew that it was bad.
Yeah. The distinction that it was on her other account, which is the only account that I ever followed, because her other account is very adult oriented, in my opinion.
Well, it says Pink, and that's kind of your screen name. Is that fair? It's like an alternative name, Pink Chow or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, but fair to say, in November of 20th of 2004, well, before any of the exhibits that were entered into evidence, before any of that, you make the allegation that John had sexually abused you. Is that fair? Judge, I'm going to object. One,
Well,
that's a mischaracterization. And additionally, the best evidence are actually the text messages. We don't even have them to know what they say.
that's a really good objection. That's a really good objection. She, at this point in time, the lawyer has let Tectone's lawyer continue to move and go on because she felt confident in Pink's answers. And now that there's a point where he's trying to wrap this all back around, um, again about this whole entire thing about not disclosing this information beforehand, and trying to make it relevant, she's finally pushed back. I think this is a very good time. It's actually extremely strategic, in my opinion, with her deciding to object here.
Any response? Judge, I think she's ratified through testimony that those were her Twitter posts. I think that is an evidence. All right.
Objection overruled. Okay, here we go.
Objection overruled, Mr. Poirier. So blank, which is Pink Chew, I'm going to ask you again. November 20th of 2024. For any of those expositions were posted that are in evidence now through your direct testimony, well, before that, you discussed John allegedly abusing you. I did not say any names. I talked about a personal experience I had. Okay, and very similarly again, I think we've established that none of the posts that have been entered into evidence that John had made mentioned your name in any way. Is that
Okay. Okay, so he's trying to establish correlation between her post and his post, and that neither of them mentioned each other's name. So therefore, if you're going to suggest that because you didn't mention his name, that it wouldn't apply to you. Okay, this right here, because here's the biggest thing that went against Tectone was all of his other Twitter posts that never mentioned Pink, but when Pink's lawyer was asking Pink about those, she applied it to her. She's like, yeah, that's about me, that's about me, that's about me, even though they never mentioned Pink. And so now he's going to try, and I wonder if Pink is going to realize this, obviously, or tell the truth, I guess. Because if he can be successful in this, then that null and voids all those previous correspondence that Tectone had about just random OnlyFans girls or this or that, because she's going to assert that this didn't apply to Tectone. It's a stretch because he was being, because the problem is what she was saying was something that happened to her, and that and then she was willing to go take a police report after. She legitimized it. Tectone's banter, all of his little things, was done in a very petty, a very calculated, a very dismissive way. They're very different. And yes, obviously, the post that Pink had about the abuse is extremely damaging to Tectone. I'm not disagreeing with that. Like, obviously, alternatively, it is. Um, but they're very different in many aspects. And so I do think this is an effective avenue for Tectone's lawyer. I just don't know if he can. I don't know if he can actually finish.
fair? The Euro post, though, that he does mention my name. Okay, but
Okay.
you would agree with me that the allegations on your November
That clarification is extremely important. There were posts that he did mention her name. It's smart and truthful.
20th, 2024 Twitter post, they mirror the allegations that you made in your application for a protective order. It's a place where I can write down my personal feelings like a journal without, it's just personal thoughts. Okay, much in the way John communicates.
That's fair. That's fair. Much in the way, yes, and I do believe Tectone does communicate like this. Yes.
Communicates online, but he uses my name.
Oof. She's quick. She's quick. She does not let him. And he has used her name. And I don't think Pink ever used his name in any of the posts, whereas Tectone did. That distinction's in this particular back and forth matters.
I'm sorry, I'm saying like there are posts where he uses my name.
She clarified, and he allowed it. This is a failure, man. There's so many aspects that this lawyer is failing.
It's a bad argument. Okay, at the risk of getting an asked again and answered objection, I'm going to ask you again. Sorry, my apologies. Can you point to me any exhibit that is in evidence where John posts your name? It's in that binder. Does that count as the no, ma'am? Okay. The exhibits that are in evidence. Okay, not the ones that were.
Okay, so he's trying to be very. But I think that this is the problem. Okay, against a jury, maybe this would be effective. Against the judge, because she's allowed, and I don't know if it was admissible, but at least the testimony is, she was allowed to say that there were many posts about her, and I believe through her own affidavit, and probably through the initial thing that was talked about. I don't remember the entire thing that was discussed between Pink and the lawyer in the beginning of this transcript. The judge is not, this is not a jury. This is a judge. I mean, obviously, Tectone's lawyer is only going to bring the evidence that is going to look bad for Pink. Not going to bring the evidence that looks good for Pink in that, using text that Tectone used Pink's name.
Shown. Correct. So fair to say that while you don't mention John's name in this Twitter post on November 20th, 2024, fair to say he doesn't mention your name in any of.
Fucking stupid. This lawyer is absolutely stupid. With no disrespect. This is so fucking stupid. This is such a fucking stupid thing. Wow.
The exhibits that are in.
You could have made this argument, but not in the way he's doing it. And the fact that he didn't even think that she was going to answer in this way is preposterous.
Evidence.
Just in the exhibits. Just in the exhibits. She's a great witness. Holy fuck.
Just in the exhibits. Just in the exhibits. So there's nothing in evidence says that Tectone said anything with her name in it, but it is everything in the exhibits that does. I'd say at the.
Which makes him look worse because he's trying to paint a picture that is not completely accurate. And this is not the fucking jury. This is the judge who knows. She knows not to take all. She knows what game the lawyer is playing, and it's deceptive in its presentation on principle. Because she's saying that there are texts that mention her name, and the lawyer only included the ones that were not, to try to make the case that everything he's ever said online, Tectone ever said online, and this is because the lawyer is trying to literally turn back time, because he's probably in the corner, not being able to get out of this because of how stupid Tectone has been while under protective order while the injunction happened. He probably told him not to do that. And he did anyway, and now he's trying to have to win the case. And it's so hard for him. Again, this all goes back to Tectone's stupidity.
At the time, we weren't very public, and then we became public. So I guess what's high profile, because I think.
And this makes me recollect a time in my videos where I said, and I think I said this, and I'm not going to go look for it because I just don't do that, even though I should. I think I actually did say this in one of my videos. Like, you may benefit from talking about all these issues and degrading women and being political in the public forum. In court, it is different. They don't play by the same rules. I think I made that reference, and I think I made it 4, 5, 6 months ago.
High profile, I think of politicians or celebrities. Okay, well, within the kind of the relative scope of your sphere of influence online, did most of your followers know that you were in the relationship with Tectone? Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All
Did
right.
most of
All right. I mean, and she was honest with that answer. I think that does show that even if it was a smaller platform, which is what she was trying to diminish it as, and it wasn't her main platform, there's still that connection. I think that's a fair. I think that's a fair cross.
John's, from what you know, observed, did most of John's followers know that he was in a relationship with you? Yes. In
Okay.
fact, it is exactly that relationship and the impact that online rumors had on your business that served as the bias of the lawsuit that you filed in Williamson County. Is that correct?
Oh.
Thank you, Fiendog TV.
I think that's fair. But she's been very effective at answering. I see some of what the answer is. I don't know exactly all of it, so I don't know. We'll see what this is spicy.
For the 5, get the subs. No, it's not. It's not exactly the same because she did those behind closed doors. So he's basically trying to say that Freem was a bad person and she did these with the online rumors and stuff. But the truth is she filed this behind closed doors, so it wasn't the same. Okay, but my question to you is, if you didn't have a significant online presence, there would have been no significant online presence for Jessica to damage. Yes. Would you agree with that? Yes. Okay, so you would agree with me that you had at least a significant online presence enough that rumors online, lies according to you.
Okay, establishing this as well, because she tried to say that was on her alternative account and not her main one, and then he's trying to reestablish that even this account has enough followers to ruin her reputation.
Disgusting lies that were spread online could damage your image to the point that you would lose endorsements, business deals, things like that. It's possible. And in fact, again, that's what alleged in that lawsuit. Fair? Yes. Okay, so you knew the impact with, even to borrow kind of phrase from your testimony, you're small in comparison to John's following, the impact that lies of rumor or negative comments could have on a business. Is that fair? Yes. Dude, so his lawyer is basically trying to say, you know how bad it is and how you can impact people online, and you already have a following that can happen with. So imagine how Tectone is. Because again, that's the entire basis of that lawsuit that you filed, okay? Is that fair? Yes. Okay, and understanding that in your sphere of influence, it is well known that you were in a relationship with John, and understanding that in John's sphere of influence, it was well known that he was in a relationship with you. You would agree with me that it's reasonable for those people, upon reading that Twitter post, would come to the assumption that you're talking about him. Is that fair? Not at first, until he publicly stated it himself, and he said that it was about him. I will say that Pink Chew, I think that everyone knew that it was about Tectone, though. And I think people also knew it was about Tectone because people knew about Freem. So
Yes, I would say that is absolutely. But to say that in court and to try to prove that, um, and to convince the judge who's gonna essentially render a verdict, that's different, man.
I was like, okay, well, this is obviously about Tectone, since his last girlfriend.
And I think the justice system is so ill-equipped with social media. Even now, even though they know the pitfalls of it, I think they're ill-equipped with understanding how this all works. I'm ill-equipped to understand how this works. I'm a dinosaur as well, and I still understood that that's meant Tectone and that meant Pink Chew. Like, I get it.
Also had, or his wife had problems and left. It's about Tectone. You know, like,
No, stop eating. I'm the only one that can eat. We need to move on.
Testimony here today in court that zero part of your motivation in posting that to Twitter was set was to let the general public know what you experienced with John. If I had to do with a personal experience I experienced and I didn't want explicitly to say names. Were you talking about John? He assumed I was talking about him. I didn't ask that. I said, were you talking about John? I'll remind you, you're under oath.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay. She nods. She nods her head. So you were talking about John. And when you put it on social media, we can agree that it's reasonable that people in the public, specifically business association of John specifically, potential employers of John would see it. Is that reasonable?
I think this allows for a countersuit potentially in the future for defamation and slander. But because the protective order was granted, if obviously the protective order was not granted, this would allow for that. It's going to be a little harder now, but through appeals and stuff like that, this is a possible avenue, but...
Is that possible? I didn't think it was possible until he went public the next day. Like I said, it was all... Is your Twitter set to private?
This is not a good response for her. She probably should have... but again, you know, there is some playful banter you can have in this and not. And this is, again, the strength of a lawyer prepping you for testimony and for cross.
No, but I put it on a small Twitter page that's not many people could find.
Here we go. She's doubling down on this. But he's tried to then say that even her smallest account is still influential and essentially people knew.
Followers. Okay. If I represent to you that 114,000 people saw that tweet, that's what reflected on your Twitter. Was that before or after he publicly made it public or publicized it? I'm just asking you a question.
Wow.
Would that surprise you?
Wow. I mean, to her credit, because, again, it's Tectone stupidity that continues to make it worse than what it would have been. If it was just her action alone, it probably would have seen 30,000, right? Whatever the number would have been. But he signal boosted it. And he tried to interject and try to counter it and all this stuff. Applied it to him, used his Andrew Tate stuff instead of just, you know, filing it down on paper, giving it to his lawyer, or you know, continuing to try to make a case against Pink. No, he decided to take it to the public forum because he thought that's what he had to. Again, I want to make it very clear. All this time, I was advising Tectone to shut the fuck up, by the way.
Ms. Locke, who's Pink Shoe's lawyer, Judge, I'm going to object. The timing of the views in comparison to when it was posted and the number of followers she had on that post. I mean, he keeps talking about he never names her. We're getting ready to show the video where he specifically names Pink the day after these.
Okay, and now she's providing the relative evidence because Tectone's lawyer presented evidence that basically showed all these texts that did not have the names related to Tectone's messages, and the lawyer's going to Pink's lawyer is going to show the ones that do have Pink's name in it. It's such a bad place to be in for the lawyer, man. For Tectone's lawyer, it's so bad.
Messages. So,
and she agrees.
Her lawyer's like, "Can we hurry this the fuck up? We already have evidence that he literally names her perfectly. Like, why are we doing this?"
Yeah.
7K viewers, slow chat. Everyone's hate watching. The court. I mean, I agree. Asking how many views there have been of this video now today is completely distorted. So, I mean, you can ask a different question. How many followers, how many views at the time, if she knows. But to reference it today is not what you're asking for.
Wow.
Which is true. The lawyer's bringing up that it had 114,000 views as of, a week ago when she tweeted this 2 years ago. So many people could have looked at it. It's completely different to what it was. And I don't think that's very fair to use. I think it's fair to use after the 24 hours before Tectone talked how many views it had, but it doesn't make sense to use after Tectone talked about it and also 2 years later. Okay?
And he agrees.
Mr. Poirier, I agree with you, Your Honor. by Mr. Poirier. Pink, let me ask you this in a different way. You had more than one follower.
So
Is
down.
that fair? We can agree. On that account, yes. Okay, so understand that you were releasing information about your situation with John to at least one person. Can we agree you discussed this online prior to John discussing it online? I did not at the time say anyone's name, and it wasn't specifically about him. Like, I didn't know I had the purpose of it being for people to know exactly who. It was really for close friends and people in the space, if that
I mean, she's playing a game here. It's a very effective game. Legality-wise, if you're not naming names, and there's no assertion that it is him, she can play this. She can play this. I think he knows that. I think he knows exactly what she's doing. And this is not necessarily just Pink being truthful. This is Pink playing a game with a lawyer, legitimately, because she knows the law, she knows her protections, she knows defamation cases and stuff like that. So this is not just testimony. This is playful. This is playful. This is not calculated, but very conscientious decision making by Pink to answer in this way. And he's gonna say, like, it doesn't make sense. At this point, he must be like, in his head, he must be like, Tectone is such a stupid guy, dude. He just made this whole entire case weaker because of how many times he wanted to say things about her when he should have just left it in court.
makes sense. I agree, chat. This is boring as fuck. It doesn't, but you want to.
It's not really that boring, to be honest, but I will say I think Tectone's testimony is going to be a lot more entertaining.
Keep explaining. Ms. Locke, I'm going to object as vague for the question. The court, I don't know if this is vague. It's definitely argumentative, so it's objection of sustained. The court sides with Tectone, despite the lawyer, the retard lawyer from Boca or wherever.
Keep on going. Keep on going. I like this line of dialogue, Ms.
The fuck he's from, claiming that it's all about one-sided with Pink.
Right. The bias of the judges in the 4th District of Texas, Travis County.
I'll move on, Your Honor. By Mr. Poirier. Pink, again, can we agree you were talking about John when you made that post? It was some of what he done. Okay, somewhat, yes. Like, it was like, and you could just testify that it was so you, yeah, I'm saying, like, it's not everything, it's what I'm explaining. Okay, but the post was about John. Yes, but not publicly stating anyone's name, and not many people knew exactly who it was about at the time. Okay, from what I'm aware of.
And she has to make that distinction now because she obviously has an affidavit saying the abuse, and then there was, the connection now. So she can say that in the court, but at the time online, she never said that specifically. And you can play this game because guess what? A lot of people do. And you're allowed to, as a lawyer, as Cross, to try to push back and say, no, that's not what your intention was, or that, people would have assumed that it was Tectone. And you knew that going in. But she's been very, very clear in her answers. No, that wasn't the case. Again, she's playing a game in this particular case. This is not just truthful answers. This is definitely an intelligent response, knowing the law and how to kind of like play in that playground.
Okay, very good. Mr. Poirier, I will pass the witness, Your Honor.
What?
Court. All right, Mrs. Locke.
Are
yes,
you
Judge.
fucking kidding me? That was the end of the cross? This is not a jury. This was a judge. Could it have been effective against a jury? Yeah. Yeah. There definitely would have been. I think any of these cases, unfortunately, because of the current culture, ecosystem of our society and the United States government, I think there's always going to be one jury in there that's going to not side with the woman. And there's enough here that could potentially bring into question Pink Chew's motives in some aspects. Because you have to, if you're going to presume Pink's guilt. It would be that she's trying to orchestrate all this. I think the lawyer was effective from a very like superficial aspect at determining that, or at least providing enough what's the word that you use when you're trying to convict somebody in a jury pool? I forget what the exact word is. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I think you question, like, there's enough question there to be like, okay, I'm not really 100% sure if she's being 100% truthful or if she's being strategic. But then again, this is a judge. This is not a jury, and the judges, you know, they don't have the same logical failure that some juries do.
We are going to play what's been marked as applicants 47s. It is one of the streams from November 22nd of 2024. So it will be the day following the tweet that was just being discussed, and so I moved to introduce the subject.
Oh my gosh. He just allows for it.
Subject to what we discussed before.
I don't know. Maybe Tectone's lawyer threw the case. I would, if I was Tectone, I would sue his lawyer.
Any objections? No. They play the video. Does anyone have this video that was from November 22nd, 2024 in the stands right now that is available so we can...
I hate when content creators do this. It's so annoying. You got to pay these fucking people, guy.
I mean, like, you can't really use that. That's not fair because Tectone tweeted the next day.
Other things. I want to make this extremely clear. Everything that she accused me of in her statement is a complete lie. Nothing about these accusations is true, and they are entirely made up. Out of respect for a previous relationship, I'm giving Pikachu 2 weeks to apologize for these statements and acknowledge.
Oh my gosh, it was this video. And listen. This is so funny. This is so funny because this is one of my better performing videos that I've ever made, actually. This ultimatum that he gave her 2 weeks. Remember that? Watch this. Oh my gosh. This is one of my better performing videos that I ever made. November, huh? Okay, wait. This is November 24th. Hold on, I know how to do this. November 25, 2024, everybody. Watch this. This is so crazy.
Pink, before I made a post, I said I would give you 2 weeks.
Oh, this was the day after, I think. He said the 2 weeks, and then he changed it.
You no longer have 2 weeks. You have 24 hours. You have 24 hours.
Pink, 24 hours, Pink. That's what you've got. That's all you've got.
Previously on 24.
Hello, YouTube. I hope you liked that opener because Tectone said yesterday he gave Pink 24 hours instead of 2 weeks, which was what the original agreement was. Not that that matters because it's just intimidation and manipulation, which is bullshit. Even back then, everybody. Even back then, I had it right. Even back then, I have it right. Oh, man, I'm such a smart guy sometimes, let me tell you.
Knowledge they are false and inaccurate. If this does not happen, I'm going to be pursuing legal action against Pikachu and those who knowingly repeat her lies with a reckless disregard for the truth. Okay? I have preserved everything.
What a sweetheart.
Guys, I have preserved everything. I have preserved all...
That's pretty incriminating. Who in the fuck is this?
And Hex Juice is saying this about Tectone. Is there possible? Oh shit, dude! Fuck.
It's been a while. Some of you might have guessed given my complete absence from the internet, but I will not be returning to content. I find myself compelled to talk about why that is now due to the release of the core documents regarding Pink and Tectone. What the fuck is this? This is a Tectone document? Wait a minute. Is he talking in the third person? Is this Atsu? Oh, this is Hex Juice? Bro, is this Hex Juice? Is this Hex Juice, man?
Hi all, it's been about a while. Some of you might have guessed my complete absence from the internet, but I will not be returning to content creation. I find myself compelled to talk about why, and that is now due to the release of the court documents regarding Pink and Tectone. Should I ask ChatGPT to read it?
It's so crazy. Ask for a 3-paragraph summary they're asking for. I'll have to look at that later. Let's
All right.
see. I'll write it down.
Here's a clear, neutral summary that the core points without losing gravity. The author announces they will be permanently leaving content creation, explains why, prompted by the release courts of Pink.
This is so unfair. Like, I get it. Okay, whatever. AI and whatever else. But to reduce the nuances of someone's own writing into a 3 summarized paragraph is so fucking disingenuous. And it literally lacks the emotionality of it all. I hate to say this. This is such a bad take, guys. Come on. We gotta, if you're gonna read this shit, you gotta read it all. I'm not going through this. I'll deal with this after. Let's continue with the testimony.
On it.
Come on, Ms. Get it right.
Witness. Yes, Axiom. Axiom, you there? Hello? We have another witness chat coming in.
Yo.
Yo.
So that text that he had her send him is what he was showing everyone to be proof. Like, oh, she's lying. Look, she wanted to suck my dick all the time. Look at this. And he sat her down and made her write that.
So he was going around
That's
showing
his
that.
proof. Yes.
That was his big proof that he had. That was it.
That she was lying. Yes, that was his proof because he made her send that text.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining the courtroom. I appreciate it.
Yep. Anytime. You, Mizzy Wizzy.
Yep. Sorry about that.
Weird.
Thank you very
Come
much. I appreciate
on.
that. Okay,
Stop.
Bye bye.
Bye.
How much do we
Order.
skip?
Order. Hey. Just because one person spoke doesn't mean everyone can. Order.
How much did we skip here?
Yeah, I didn't read them all. Prior to this video, you made the allegations against Mr. Roberts in public. I had made a tweet without explicitly saying anyone's name. Okay, let me pull up that tweet because I think it's already in evidence. They made reference to the medical records from Austin Oaks. You did not write or fill out that paperwork, right? No. Okay, and the nurses filled it out for you. Yes. All right, and in there, did you also make reference to blank as causing your stress? I'm not entirely sure. If it says it in there, okay, let's go over the records. And so the court is clear. You sued Mr. Robertson's ex-wife. Right? Yes. And you sued her based on statements that she was allegedly making, correct? Yes. And those were the statements that opposing counsel highlighted. Yes. Okay, and what were the statements that she was accusing you of making? Do I go into detail? What was, because in your lawsuit more than just that section. Yes. Okay, just in that section, she was accusing him of grooming me as a slave. Okay, it was his ex-wife that was making those allegations in a public forum, right? She was telling that privately to people. Okay, and so you sued, I guess, to stop that. I sued her so she wouldn't show any more videos, or like to make sure that she didn't have access.
Okay, and this actually makes it in a different light because the cross, Tectone's lawyer was trying to make a case that essentially there was no videos, there was no recordings of these sexual acts. I think this being I don't know what the right word is. Correcting. I think Pink's lawyer trying to change the narrative that basically the lawsuit was there to prevent anything from ever being released, and this was a stopgap measure. I think that basically just, and this is what she's supposed to do as Pink's lawyer. She's supposed to take what happened in Cross and explain it from Pink's perspective and to justify it, answer it, and to correct the record. This is a very effective way of doing that. This null and voids a lot of that aspect of that testimony, which was one of the weaker parts of Pink's Cross. And her lawyers strengthen it now to be in favor of Pink. Smart.
Access to the footage that she had recording of me. Okay, so, but it wasn't you making those statements about Mr. Robertson. It was his ex-wife. Yeah.
Hold on, I might have to go check my dog. She might be crying. I'll let it go for now. Let's see.
Yes. Let me finish my question. Oh, sorry. It's all right. And that was actually a settlement, correct? Yes. And he received payment from his ex-wife. Is that right? Yes. All right. And there were some injunctions that you all can't.
I mean, there it is. In black and white, there was a settlement. She won the case. That's huge. Okay, and let me just clarify this. You can actually, they can both win cases, to be honest, especially if there's an injunction and all these agreed upon things. Like they both could have just agreed to like what is it called? Dismiss the lawsuit, and that would be considered a win on both sides, I think. And because there was an injunction to not talk about it, it does provide that ambiguity that could there's just there's a lot, I don't like all the legal processes that happen in this country, and there's things that you can use to be advantage. Like this is what executives use. This is what other people use too to hide things that should otherwise be known public. I'm not particularly happy about this particular injunction where this evidence would never come out, but this is kind of what happens in the legal system.
Can't talk about each other publicly, right? Yes. And Mr. Robertson had made reference to an NDA, right?
This hurts him. This hurts him. This hurts him because that probably would be relevant, but because of that agreement, it's not admissible. It might be admissible in a criminal trial if you're trying to go for more evidence, but for a civil trial based on a protective order, it's not admissible. And because she has enough evidence to prove the need for a protective order, I mean, it's really all going in her favor.
On multiple platforms. Oh shit, right? Yes. And without going into the details, that NDA relates to a lawsuit between he and his wife post-divorce. I believe it was an agreement they made. Okay, it was an agreement. Yes. And there was some NDA signed related to them not being allowed. Judge, I'm going to object to speculation. I can ask her. I can rephrase. If she doesn't know, she doesn't know. She can ask the question. All right. Did Mr. Robertson tell you about this lawsuit? He told me that he had sent her a cease and desist, paid her $30,000.
Oh my God. So the lawyer for Tectone tried to get an objection for speculation. And then Miss Locke counterjected, saying she didn't even let the judge respond. And then Tectone's lawyer did not object further and allowed Pink to answer a fucking question related to the NDA. Bro, this is called procedure, okay? In court documents. I'm not a lawyer. I literally have not watched that many shows, but I'm pretty familiar with the legal system. I will not say that I could defend myself or anything like that. I'm not going to go into that detail, but this is the fucking stupidest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. To let this one go through and for her to answer like that is crazy.
And had her sign an NDA not going to the public. Exactly what I said. And this was right before you filed your lawsuit against her. Is that right? I believe after he had signed her NDA and paid her, we had our spat and I sued her. Okay.
In the conversation here, which I'm not sure she's able to present in court, is that Tectone coerced her to do this lawsuit against Freem, and she won apparently.
Was this that at this encouragement to sue her? He encouraged.
Was that at his encouragement? That's huge. So they're going to try to bring this in. They're going to try to bring this particular part in because the cross allowed it. Okay, the lawyer of Tectone allowed it. And so now Pink's lawyer can actually press it a little bit more and talk about the decisions to sue. If they can actually make this admissible in court as to it was Tectone's retaliation against Freem for having to have her sign an NDA, that's pretty compelling. Wow, this is such a fucking bad thing for Tectone. This is so fucking bad.
A lot for me to sign an NDA and to keep all of it under wraps due to the allegations the ex-wife had. He didn't want those going public. Okay, did you also lose a dog during this time before you went to the Austin Oaks?
Okay.
Yes, my family dog.
Okay, and this speaks to her emotionality, her emotional state. Again, trying to with the cross examination that was provided from, like, fuck me, man. This lawyer is extremely good. Every time I think that potentially there is some weakness here, the lawyer continues to strengthen the character witness, which is Pink.
But it wasn't just your breakup. You had other issues with regard to why you went to Austin Oaks. Yes. Does going to Austin Oaks make any amount of your allegations or accusations against Mr. Robertson untrue?
Wow.
No.
Okay. Clarification there. Very important for the record. Very important for the judge to hear that. This is extremely effective because the judges probably made notes previous when the Tectone's lawyer was asking her about things, and now she's gonna be able to not necessarily cross out the notes that were made in the cross examination, but she will be able to alleviate some of the issues that was presented in that, to now be like, okay, because this strengthens Pink's case even more because she just said no unequivocally, which matters.
Is there any reason why you didn't give detailed information in the Austin Oaks records about what was going on with Mr. Robertson?
There you go.
I just wanted to
further clarification, and she's allowed to fucking do this. It's so good. It's so good. Such a good back and forth, man. Wow. And she must have taken notes during this time, Pink's lawyer, to be able to ask these questions. Very smart, very intelligent.
Get an evaluation and leave. That's why I was only there for 3 days. And you, in fact, did not return.
And this is a good witness. Like, unlike what we're going to see with Tectone, most likely.
Return to live back at Mr. Robertson's place. Is that correct? No. All right. And then these are the tweets that Mr. Robertson, the opposing counsel was talking about. Is that right? Yes. All right. Can you point out where in this where you provide Mr. Robertson's name? Nowhere. Can
Wow.
you provide a time frame of when this occurred? No. And did he make a reference to this specific tweet in his rantings online?
Yep.
Yes, all the time, or a lot of the time. I'm sorry.
Yep, he did. He did, and she didn't, and that matters. Wow, 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 wow.
And did he refer his followers to this tweet? Yes. You heard in that video back on November 21st, November 22nd, where he said, it's war now. Do you recall that? And what has he done into your life since he made that statement on November 22nd?
Again, this is for a protective order. Words like that, dialogue like that, emotionality like that, and a judge that has had many cases like this is going to strengthen the case for the need for a protective order.
In 2024, which is the video we just watched. He completely destroyed my streaming career. Barely ever stream. I had to completely switch to another platform for content and to make money. How did he destroy your streaming career? No one wanted to get near me because he would attack them too. And he had already done that to some people. An example is, her name's Morgan. People didn't want to associate with me or collab with me. So I actually ended up having to fly out to LA a lot to make friends and collaborations to help my career. There was reference to a text message that you sent him asking him for a blowjob right before you went to Austin Oaks. Do you recall that? Yes. All right.
And now she's taken in everything the Cross had ever mentioned and trying to, tighten it up.
Can you explain to the court how that text came to be? Are you talking about the blowing? Yes. So I had tried to originally confide in a girl that was a mutual friend. Okay. And when was that?
This shorthand stuff that they're having back and forth means that they, had a pretty deep conversation, and you're allowed to prep the witness, because I'm pretty sure Pink's lawyer prepared Pink on what Tectone's lawyer was going to cross her, and so they prepared for this. In many aspects, they knew the avenue that the defense or that Tectone's lawyer was going to take, because there's only so much you can do in this particular. There wasn't a lot of wiggle room here because of how stupid Tectone has been with his mouth.
Why do we call it blowing when we don't blow?
Yeah, it's to be committed a pita.
Sorry, when I don't blow.
I just go.
So
brother.
I tried to originally confide in a girl that was a mutual friend. Okay, and when was that? When did you try to confide in her? I believe it was possibly a week before that text, or I don't remember. Okay. It was a little bit after the first time we broke up. Okay, then what happened? I told her that he would make me give him blowjobs, and she freaked out. And I'm like, but it's all fine. It's not a big deal. And then I got scared because I didn't know if I could trust her. And he then, the next day, sat me in his office and sat me in a chair.
Uh-oh.
And he's like, I'm gonna get on the phone. I'm gonna step out inside and out. And he stepped outside of the office and he said, you're gonna tell me everything you told her in detail, and I want you to know.
This is big. This is a big deal. This is not good for him at all. It's such a weird thing to say.
If you're lying, and we're gonna have her sit on the phone and back and forth and find out all the information, you're going to text me that you want to suck my dick, or else I'm gonna not trust you.
Okay, and this is obviously their narrative as to what happened, which obviously is not a good look. And I don't believe Tectone's lawyer has done an effective job at destroying her credibility. So I think for the most part, the judge has taken this testimony as truthful, and you have to, because she's under oath.
How tall was Mr. Robertson? 6 feet 6 or 7.
Yep.
How tall are you? 5'3".
Okay.
How much, to the
Establishing
best of your
that.
knowledge, does Mr. Robertson weigh? I believe it's like 260, somewhere around there. And what is it? I know no one wants to talk.
Here we go. I mean, this part of it is going to inflame so many people, but it is the truth. And so when you have any kind of aggressive tendencies, potentially all the other stuff that you can use against Tectone, it just doesn't look good, my friend. It just doesn't look good.
Talk about your weight. What is it you weigh? 130. Okay, and when he had you in that chair in the office, what was his demeanor
Very angry.
towards you? Very angry. Did it cause you any concerns? And the
This is extremely important. Yeah, I mean, come on. It's insane.
text he was showing everyone as proof, she is lying. Wait, what do you mean actually?
Here we go.
Call me on it. We have another witness. Yes, Axiom. Axiom, you there? Hello? We have another witness chat coming in.
Yo.
Yo.
So that text that he had her send him is what he was showing everyone to be proof. Like, oh, she's lying. Look, she wanted to suck my dick all the time. Look at this. And he sat her down and made her write that.
So he was going around
That's
showing
his
that
proof. Yes.
that was his big proof that he had. That was it.
That she was lying. Yes, that was his proof because he made her send that text.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for joining the courtroom. I appreciate it.
Wait, did I just have deja vu? Did we just go back in time? What the fuck just happened here? I'm so confused. Did that not just happen? What am I losing it? I'm not sleeping. That fucked me up in the head.
Do you online in your kind of various social media streams? Do you have a screen name? Yeah. Yes. My screen name is
Oh God.
Tectone. Is Tectone okay? Tell me where you're born.
All right, so I have no idea what just happened there, but I just had a deja vu. Like, didn't Axiom just come on and say the same thing, or was that before or after? I don't know if there's a beginning and an end to this, but I maybe I don't know. It's so confusing. But anyway, I guess in your past, and he had gone to the hospital for an injury. He told me, asked me, open the bathroom. We went to the bathroom. He then pulled down. Okay, so this is more leading into what happened to her when she was a child to distinguish between that and sexual assault. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Everything that was mentioned in Cross, Pink's lawyer was able to essentially correct the record and strengthen Pink's case. Insane. And I'm pretty sure, even though I had a little deja vu moment there, and I hope I don't have one again because I don't like them. I'm pretty sure that Tectone's testimony will be drastically different and worse in so many ways, which is so insane to say. I'm trying to get to the beginning here. All right, I don't want to hear all this preposition. Here we go.
And Asm was a streamer that I watched then. I had like nothing. So he was like one of my idols. And so when he invited me to join the organization, I was like, oh my God, like we made it, which is awesome. So they kind of just make content to entertain the masses, like lots of IRL, lots of game shows, kind of like Jeopardy, or like we had this one called Loot Goblins, where it's kind of like Monopoly. And then Mythic Talent was an organization that I created with some peers from another company.
This wouldn't even play on a jury. This is such a bad. I don't know why this is what the lawyer wants to ask Tectone to begin with. Like, how his success is determined whether he should have a protective order against him or not. I know it might play in Texas because of their, I don't know, back act were, oh my God, I'm losing it.
Called AFK, where they actually, not being
I think I was trying to say backwards.
Too kind to their employees. And so I took some of their employees and made our own company.
I can't listen to this. This is such a nothing burger. This wouldn't play with a jury. It's not going to play with a judge. It's so bad. Nobody cares about that, by the way. All right, here we go. Oh my God, we're talking about LaRue.
Living in your house wasn't expected, but okay. You and Pink were in romantic relationship. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Was it intimate? I actually really enjoyed it. She was very
Stop,
kind.
Ms. Stop. Stop. Just read it, please. Or I'll silence you and read it myself.
She was very quirky, and obviously she had some issues, but I'm okay with that. I love helping people through their problems, so I was more than willing to help Pink with whatever she needed.
Oh my god, what a fucking saint.
Bro, I never ever want to hear that Kai Cenat is performative. Okay, was it sexual? Yeah! Okay, it was.
Okay, I'm so sick of this. If he doesn't stop in the next page, I will just do it myself.
It was the most sexual relationship I've ever had. Okay, as this relationship progressed, was she also in streaming? Yes. Was she and I realized there's a lot of kind of different worlds on the internet? Was she had her own space? Were you invested in helping her grow on the online brand? Absolutely, sir. Okay. Like her with every one of my other colleagues. It's people want to find success in this world. I like helping them do that. And Pink is actually really very funny. And she's very good on her streams. And, you know, she was struggling a little bit because it's hard to make it as a streamer. But she started off with GTRP and then she just referenced earlier very funny clips. She did some great songs too. And, you know, she was struggling for money. And I said, hey, if you ever want advice, I'm always here. Okay. Did you leverage relationships that you had in the industry on her behalf? Can you give some context? What do you mean did I leverage relationships?
Well, I mean, yeah, I would agree with this. This is such a fucking weird question to ask. You know, the whole leverage thing is supposed to be done like in secret. It's not supposed to be a public thing. Because technically there are laws against certain kind of favoritisms and stuff like that. And these things do inherently create wealth and create opportunity. So good luck.
Not true. Did you, by this point in time, you have been in the online industry for streaming industry? You have connections with the industry. Is that accurate? Yes, sir. Okay. Did you contact people that you knew in the industry to attempt to amplify her viewership?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, this happens, right? And then obviously he's been accused of botting as well. So that's another added thing to this.
Of course. I still love her. Oh, okay. Yeah, I tried to make her have friends. She didn't really have too many friends, so I tried to help her make friends. I invited, you know, some people who I thought she'd get along with to the house, and I introduced her to everybody I know. Okay, was there ever an expectation that because of this assistance that you provided that there was a quid pro quo?
No.
Gee willikers, no. There was expected to return with the sexual favors? No, sir. Okay, did you ever threaten Pink with blank or blank if the relationship ended that you would destroy her in the industry? Takes off his hat.
Wow. You know, you might. Okay, so I just want to say this real quick. All of this stuff that was just talked about, and even the stuff that I skipped about OTK, about, you know, having LaRue in the house, wanting to just, you know, help people out. Listen, there is a Tectone that exists in an alternate reality that is true. The one that constantly posts online, okay, that is aggressive towards or that has a demeanor towards women, that has literally blasted Pink, that has tried to diminish her credibility, her fame, her success, is all counter to this fake ass person who is probably being truthful from a caricature perspective. However, here's what I will say as a huge caveat to not get me sued. He is under oath, so sure, I believe him.
No, sir. As a matter of fact, when we split up, there was an idea that maybe we could just continue living together, just as friends. But my friends advised me against it, but no, I would never do that. Okay, at some point were you made aware by Jessica, your ex-wife, that there was did she ask you if there was a better than me or words to that effect? Yes, sir. Okay, and what was that? To my best knowledge, I want to say it was sometime maybe 2 or 3 months before, or 2 or 3 months after Pink and I started dating. So maybe March of, whether it would be 2023 or, yeah, Probably March of 2023, probably somewhere around that time. Okay. There was a very uncomfortable period of time. Okay. Was that information related to Pink? Did you tell Pink about the conversation that you had with your wife? Well, I tried not to let Pink know for maybe a week or two beforehand because Pink is very sensitive. And so I tried to deal with the issue beforehand, before she had to deal about it, because if there's a problem, I'm going to attempt to solve it. And looking back on it, I probably should have told her earlier, but God, I was just at church camp.
Shut
and
up,
I thought that I
Miz.
could have dealt with it myself. And so I didn't tell her immediately, but I did tell her. And to my expectancy, Pink did not receive it well, and I don't blame her for it as well. It's very scary. Yeah, that's a reasonable action, if that's fair. Yes. That she was upset about the notion that, of course, that there had been some recordings that she didn't know about. Of course.
Oh my God. I'm going to assume that none of this really matters. I know it's such a fucking horrible assumption to make. I'm actually thinking about skipping this until I see the cross, because I think the cross is going to be extremely inflammatory and revealing. I think that's what I'm going to do. I just don't have the time to deal with all this stupid ass fucking fluffiness. It doesn't matter. Okay? We know his side of the story. We've heard it online. What I want to hear is what he says under oath when he's being cross-examined by a fucking lawyer that is intelligent. I want to hear Tectone's response when he doesn't know or is not his own what's the word I'm looking for? When he goes online and he does streams, he's the master of his domain. When he's having questions being fed to him by his lawyer, he's the master of his domain. He's going to try to get this perception he's a nice guy, all this stuff. I'm not dealing with it. I'm not dealing with it. I've already basically deconstructed that. I don't need to go through this. Okay? Admittedly so. I can also say that about Pink as well. There's some obviously things in her testimony that don't add up or that could be believed to be a little bit deceptive. I can't deny that. But from a legality perspective, the ability of her lawyer to continuously strengthen her credibility is impressive to the point where those kind of things are not really considered, because I do believe that Tectone's cross will be so detrimental to his case. This is not even talking about the text and all the other things that he's done online, that it's going to make it extremely clear that this protective order needed to be granted rather than not. So I'm going to skip. I don't know if I'll get to the exact point of the cross. And that was supposed to win before I responded, so that was about, I think. All right, so are we going to know when this is going to happen? Let me just try to get a guide here. We're on 181. This doesn't happen. There must have been a cross here soon. Tried the best I could, yes. Okay, were things cordial? Yes, so this is still the lawyer, I'm sure. All right, no objection. Respondent is admitted. And John, when you okay, so still no cross. Maybe we listen to it now.
And John, were you, when you saw this tweet, and we've talked about it a lot, remember, honey, we talked about it, I gave you those carrots afterwards. Have you any doubt who he was talking about? No. Pink has a history of vague subtweeting, is what it's called on the internet. Okay. She did it a lot to my ex, and so the...
What the fuck is he, a subject matter expert? And in court, in legal proceedings, you can't speak like you are the subject matter expert on some things of what you call it. You actually literally have to call in a witness that actually has a field or a specialized degree in that specific thing in order for it to be admissible or favorable in your case. You just saying it doesn't make it real. Unless, of course, it deals with, like, your personal like essay and stuff like that. Those kind of things you can speak to. You can speak to your feelings and all that. There's a distinction here. There's a difference here. As far as this preposition is concerned, you need somebody that's an actual professional subject matter expert to talk about that kind of linguistic urban dictionary stuff to make it applicable to your case. That supposedly this is how people speak online, and she was using it as a tactic. It may be true. Tectone saying it does not make it so. I have to take a small break here though in between. I do declare I apologize. All right, let's continue.
Then I saw this that you were dating Pink. Oh, it was blatantly obvious, dude. Okay. Would you, when you say it was blatantly obvious, what do you mean? I mean, she would dress up as random characters, you know? We would stream together.
So bad, dude. So bad.
I would be on, like, every single one of her streams, you know, when she would have an anxiety attack, I'd be like, are you good, dude? We'll take care of the stream. Everything's gonna be okay. It was pretty much as clear as mud.
He did not just say that. Oh my god. She sounds so sophisticated compared to him. And I'm not even saying this from a female male perspective, like whatever, dude, okay? Would this play in a jury? I don't think so, man. And I'll be honest with you. I agree. This should never have gotten to court. And I think John Tectone knew that he's just not meant for court, man. He's just not meant. There's some people that are like that can do better in court than other people. Tectone is not one of them. His personality trait does not compute. So I would have done everything to not do this. And that would have included to shut the fuck up online and on Twitter and X. That's so crazy.
Is that a saying?
And it's so bad, dude.
Is that a phrase?
Oh my god.
Is that a phrase that's ever used? Is the phrase clear as mud ever used? Clear as mud is absolutely real. When someone says something is clear as mud, they mean it's confusing, poorly explained, or not clear at all. Okay, so I guess it's real. Wait.
But it
But that
doesn't
make sense to what he's saying.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
But he used it wrong.
He did.
Wouldn't it be clear as day?
It would be clear as day.
It would be like, are you okay? Like, wait, so he basically said...
It would be clear as day. Yes, it would be.
was not clear at all to everything he just talked about. I mean, she would dress up as random characters, you know. We would stream together. I would be on, like, every single one of her streams, you know. When she would have an anxiety attack, I'd be like, are you okay? Like, we'll take care of the stream. Everything's going to be okay. It was pretty much as clear as mud for anybody to see. And it literally is, when people say clear as mud, it's confusing. So he's saying it's confusing to anyone that we're dating.
Oh my gosh.
What an idiot.
Oh, it's so silly.
And then look, his lawyer tries to stop him and go, okay, like, stop, honey. And he goes, for anybody to see. Okay, it was well known to her followers she was dating you. It was well known to your followers that you were dating her. Is that, I would like to clarify for all fairness, it was very clear to my followers. To her followers, maybe not so much, but to mine, yes, very apparent, dude.
To hers, not as much. That strengthens her case.
Okay, and did your followers know when the relationship had run its course? Yeah, bro. Okay, so again...
Oh, he made so much clarity.
Again, when you saw this tweet, did you have any doubt that she was talking about you? No, there was not a single doubt in my mind. All right, and then in that vein, now we're talking about respondents number 5, and you start to get to where the messages as almost as soon as Pink's tweet went up. Yes. And is respondents 5 an accurate characterization of the types of messages you would receive? I'm assuming that this is something that's probably saying, like, fuck you, you sexually assaulted her, or you're a bad person. They were way worse than that. There's one's more of a, you know, like a get shit on post, but yeah, that was a lot worse than that. Okay, and are there respondents 6, 7, and we see in respondents exhibit 7, there's a hashtag Tectone. Yup. With a post date, it looks like the November of 21st. Yup, that one of previous, that was before the hashtag from Tectone to hashtag Rapetone is my new name on the internet instantaneously. Yes. Being called a rapist and a pedophile was very frequent.
Yeah. Yes. I had something to say. The whole OTK thing, like, you know, the whole namesake thing, like, it just kind of goes hand in hand, unfortunately. You deal with gotcha content that Genshin Impact had that name associated with it, and then obviously the allegations with Pink, like, come on.
And on respondents exhibit 6, it looks like underneath your shirt there's a 2M. What does the represent? 2M means 2 million views.
What the fuck are they? This must have been Tectone directing his lawyer to say these specific things about his celebrity status, about his popularity. Bro, this judge does not give a shit about how popular you are. That jury ain't going to care about how popular you are, because there's a certain popularity that matters and there's a certain popularity that doesn't matter. Let me just be very clear, Tectone. Your popularity is shit in the comparison of the world. Your popularity is shit in the comparison geographically of the United States. Your popularity is shit in Texas. Your popularity only exists in one specific small area. Gotcha and drama. you did at the very end get into right-wing grifting, which would have definitely catapulted you into a different popularity, like Asmin and Hassan, okay? And they are more like namesakes that transcend streaming, but even they are small comparatively. You are a pimple. They are a mole. And presidents are a face. That's how small you are comparatively to how popular you think you might be. You fucking idiot. How this would matter. You're not fucking Kanye West. Your popularity means shit, Tectone. Your platform and your ability to, bring people up respectively is shit. It is. It's shit compared to what you're trying to assert here. It's shit. But that's your arrogance. That's your misguided everything. I mean, it's just I wish you were smarter.
Okay, so this post, there was 2 million views. Yes. Okay. Looking at respondents, Exhibit 8, this was posted on 10:49 a.m. on November 21st. And how many views did it have? That has 37,000 views, which is one of the smaller ones. Then this is Pink's lawyer comes in and says, Judge, the only thing I'd like to point out is there's no identification of
My
when these
internet is
pictures were
tanking
taken.
so
These
bad right now.
screenshots to know at any time on November 21st.
My internet is tanking. I don't know why. It's like it's having a little bit of a conniption fit. So I think we're almost at the end of this, but yeah, I mean, I see the drop frames. I don't want to end the stream, but I know the experience is probably bad for you. I'm trying to see if it's going to stabilize. I have no idea why it's an issue. Maybe I'll stop streaming on Twitch. Oh, now it corrected itself, apparently. I can see the, yeah, I'll just stop streaming on Twitch. All right, bye, Twitch. I'm going to stop streaming on Twitch, so hopefully that'll improve the experience on YouTube, everybody. Okie dokie. I don't know if that's the issue. I don't know if that was a bottleneck. But sometimes if I stream on both platforms, it's definitely... Nope, it's still... It's just a bad time to be streaming, apparently. I do apologize.
First, when there were actually that many views, so I don't think that the court agrees, which I would say is very fair. How would you know that? I think there's a mischaracterization of the evidence before the court. I think that goes to the weight, not necessarily the admissibility. Correct. And let's talk about Respondent Exhibit 9. Let's talk about that. How many views did it have? That had 2.1 million views. Okay. And that was posted when? Before I responded. So that was about, I think I responded at like 5 a.m. or some shit. That was like 26 hours before then. Okay. So almost immediately afterwards, maybe like, 12 hours after Pink posted? And there's been some questions from the applicant about the timing of these views, of course. And when the traffic happened, when eyes were on, the allegations against you from Pink, was it that they were seeing in respondents for Exhibit 10? Well, there's a great one because this shows you exactly how many live people were watching the day of the 21st. As you can see on the...
Bro, it don't matter. It don't matter when you signal boost these shit. Okay? I don't know what your deal is with these views as it matters when you've done so many counterintuitive streams that have tried to like discredit her in her own testimony. Like, you sat there through her own testimony, and I know that you probably had all this worked out in your head as far as how you're going to plan this in your defense or your favor, but you should have pivoted a little bit after the testimony because it was very strong. And this is just... I'm still very interested in the cross-examination, though, and my internet is shit.
Bottom there, it says new Tectone sexual assault allegations. And as you could tell, the viewer count, judging by the green graph, is going up. If you notice, the peak is at 12 o'clock to 12:50, which is when Denim's changed their stream title to the Tectone sexual assault allegation. And her, amongst many other streamers, We're all live streaming that, including Mike from PA from a previous screenshot and leveraging viewers to come in and react to it live on the 21st before I even had a chance to say anything. And what do we see on the second page of Respondents 10? Yup, that's another stream where the real lifetime viewers are there. It was a 4-hour stream, and you can tell the moment that Tectone sexual assault allegations is going to be covered, that yellow font is the indication that the stream title changed to that, bro. And you can tell the interest is at the all time.
I mean, I don't know what's worse. Miskiff doing a voiceover or the things that are being said. This is so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I wish my internet was better. I'm trying to figure out it. I'm trying to close some stuff to see if it might alleviate some of my issues. Why can't I even close that? Is my performance tanking? Is that another reason? There's no way it's connected to that. No, my performance is good, but it's acting like it is. Bro, let me... Hold on one second. Task manager some stuff here. Alright, let me get rid of this. Stream helper and task. What else do I want to end task on? No, you gotta go away, brother. Thank you. Let me exit you. Let me exit you as well. Let me exit... What else can I exit here? Let me exit you. I can't exit you. Creative Cloud, end task. Creative Cloud core service, end task. Windows. Oh, you're taking up a lot of my memory and my CPU. What is doing it though? Let me get rid of some tabs. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if I can stabilize this connection. It's really... Alright, let's try to play it again.
I'm high for that individual stream, which is Dun Dun Denims, who is in top 500 streamers in the entire world out of, I believe, like 700 billion people. Okay. So is it fair to say that when you respond on November 22nd, 2024 to the false allegations that Pink had made in her tweet, is it fair to say that there was a substantial amount of understanding and knowledge about the accusations against you? Not only was there substantial knowledge for anybody who's a Twitter-savvy genius like myself, it was also trending on Twitter in the United States. So yeah, dude, everyone was talking about it, which is what forced me to respond, as well as the owners of my company.
It's like Kick is giving me an issue. Let me try it. Let me try Kick on Mozilla. Because Kick on Internet Explorer is kicking my ass. What timestamp is this? 522? Kick on Mozilla is kicking my ass. Shit.
Yo. All right. Chat, today is the day. Today is the day.
Bro, why can't I fast forward on this? I'm annoyed. Now it lets me?
I broke up. Or was I broke up. Also trending on Twitter in the United States. So yeah, dude, everyone was talking about it, which is what forced me to respond, as well as the owners of my company decided to let me go as well because of the allegations. I thought Tectone was let go because he said that it was because his contract was up. That's what he told everybody.
Wait, what? What happened? So yes, talking about it, which is why it forced me to respond, as well as the owners of my company decided to let me go as well because of the allegations. So he's either certain that that was the reason to try to say that her words were destructive, but this is not true. Maybe his contract was up and he's just using it to his advantage. I mean, obviously, I'm the one that went on record. I'm not going to pull that up because my internet is fucking being stupid right now. I'm the one that said OTK fired him. And then he came out and clarified and said, "No, my contract was lapsed, and I just decided to leave." And then this narrative, which is under oath, by the way, is saying that it's because OTK was sick of the allegations. I don't know if it's fucking Kick that's the problem. Kick is presenting some weird ass shit. I have one tab open on my Firefox. It should not be having this many issues. I'm getting rid of this. Shouldn't even be a problem. I'm getting rid of this. Why are you cratering? Why are you cratering? If I get rid of that, does that get rid of that? Yeah, it does. Let me see if this actually brings it back. Let's see. Is it gonna dip? Is it gonna dip below 10,000? Fucking Kick, dude. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm never using Kick in my life ever again. I was on Kick for like, okay, now it's dipping again. Okay, so it's not that. It's just something else going on here. Something else is going on here. Why is it so unstable? End of the month? I wouldn't think so. The weather? I don't think so. All right, let's get back to it. Sorry, you just have to bear with me, everybody. Hopefully it just corrects itself. Sometimes it does.
We made it. It was blatantly obvious. Also trending on Twitter in the United States. So yeah, dude, everyone was talking about it, which is what forced me to respond. As well as the owners of my company decided to let me go as well because of the allegations. I thought Tectone was let go because he said that it was because his contract was up. That's what he told everybody. Was Pink's tweet a secret or in small sphere of knowledge or influence when you responded, or had it kind of already gone viral? It went viral quickly, as well as the multiple articles, as well as the multiple Twitter accounts that were covering it due to those. To Pink's benefit, this is her alternate account, but an alternate account does not prevent a tweet from going viral, dude. And that tweet very much went viral and the internet ran with it. Okay, so on November 21st, did you receive news about your future employment, future prospects with one of your businesses? Yes. Okay, and what was that? OTK decided they had to let me go. They had two previous members, one of them being Rich, whose sexual assault allegations did not get proven his innocence until 3 years after, as well as another streamer by the name of Miskiv, who also had sexual assault allegations, and he is still kind of up in the air.
This was in testimony from the previous. Like, I'm not giving Miskiv any credit, but he won out of a technicality for the case against his accuser. So it is whatever, but this is so disingenuous. I think it's fair, though, but it's disingenuous as fuck. Obviously, the new Emery stuff, he can use that as, but during this time, speaking of this particular instance, this is when Miskiff was facing the other allegations, not the newer ones.
Mama, I made it to Forbes. So people were already to run with the ball of, look at that, another streamer from this org is a piece of shit. And you were let go. I'm going to say this. It wasn't just the fact that he was an OTK that people were saying that. It was also because of Freem previously and all that drama that happened that people were believing.
And I want to make this very clear. Because I have a catalog of all this, even though my stream is not very good right now. I have a catalog of all this where, what's his name? Shit, it's going to blank on it. M-Tashed talked about how Mythic Talent knew who Tectone was. OTK knew who Tectone was. Like, all these things are true, and Freem is part of it as well. Like, the allegations, the character, the personality, all this is something that they knew about.
That Tectone did do this. It wasn't just the fact that it was OTK. It was very much that one video that was going around where Freem was basically sitting in the car while Tectone was bragging about how good he is to his wife. I did not want to play that.
Look good. I've been losing weight. Do I look different than when I first started Camp Canoe?
Yeah.
Because I'm bald?
Because your face.
Abusive relationship.
That's why I'm leaving.
Okay. I don't like this joke anymore. I don't like this joke. Frig. I'll give you a hug. Thank you for helping me today. I appreciate that. Have a hug back. The pat on the back feels very father-son-ish.
It's so weird, dude.
I hope you had a great day. Good. Okay. If you want to do something, let me know, okay?
I can't find the video, but yeah. All right. Yeah, the car clip. If anyone wants to find that, let me, and we will watch it on the stream. We can do that. All right, so people were ready to run with the ball, and you're a piece of shit. And you were let go instantly. I would like to say, much to OTK's benefit, they were very sweet, dude. It was Asman, dude. He's just such a sweet guy. They were put out a statement because they just wanted to move past. They said, thank you, Tectone, for being part of us. We will not renew your contract. And I echoed the same sentiments. I said, yup, I enjoyed my time. We departed, bro. Okay, but OTK was... So he tried to talk about OTK, and his lawyer stopped him. And was like,
yeah.
The next... Okay, ready? The car clip?
How do I deal with him? I yelled him.
Don't touch me.
I'm patient.
No, you're fucking not. You're like the most impatient, moody fucker I've ever met.
Wow.
I'm patient when it comes to you.
Freem, I carry our marriage, and you know that.
That's such a random thing to bring up about being impatient and then go to that.
Freem, you know that.
I think we have a pretty 50-50 marriage.
You're high. You're high. You're kidding. On stream? Is this content? Or wait, you're kidding, Freem. You think so?
I think I help.
I'm not saying you don't help, but you
Woo.
think it's 50-50? Oh my
Aggie,
God.
waggy, waggy, waggy.
Ever heard of jerkmate?
Woo.
Explain.
Bro, Miskip, stop eating while you're watching this video.
At
You're
all.
cheating.
Me as well. Okay. Someone somehow got my address. I don't know how. And they told me I had children upstairs and that I was raping them. And so, Judge, I'm going to object as hearsay. The court sustained. So Tectone just keeps going on tangents. Thank you. Do you still receive threats? Yes. About your life? Yes. Okay. For the last 5 months, have you had any firearms in the house? No, sir. Can you protect yourself? No, sir. Okay. Do you continue to receive threats?
Okay, so he's admitting that he had to get rid of his firearms after the injunction happened on August.
Threats from people online?
Right, and now they're going to talk about the Second Amendment, right, how you have to protect yourself and stuff like that, but yet you're being provided death threats and all this stuff.
By the hour, on the hour. Every time Hassan finally does his fucking ad, they come after me. John, have you called Pink since the application for a protective order was filled? No, sir. Have you emailed Pink? No, sir. Have you messaged Pink in any way? No, sir. On any social media channels? No, sir. Have you direct messaged her? No, sir. Have you sent her letters? No, sir. Have you gone by her house? No, I don't have any plans to. In fact, did you move? I moved, yes, just to get away from everything. I moved to San Antonio, in Pacific Fair Oaks. Okay. Which is about 2 hours away. Have you attempted to contact her in any way? Nope. And since that application for a protective order was filled, have you discussed this situation with specifically, have you used her name? Have I used her name specifically in recent memory, or what was the time period, dude? Well, let me put it this way. Yup. Pink made an allegation towards you. Yes. From your perspective, that tweet was about you and accused you of those things that are in the tweet. Oh, yeah. Is that fair? Yeah. Did you defend your innocence? Of course. And did you absolutely make statements online that were the truth would come out? Absolutely, of course. Okay. Did you ever threaten Pink with any kind of physical violence? No, dude. I'll pass the witness, Your Honor. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Love. Thank
What? I don't know, brother. I don't know. I mean, a lot of this stuff I didn't even listen to. Because this is the part that I'm the most interested in. And I'll be honest with you. What are we at? Are we at 183 or 160? I think we're at 183. There ain't much of this. There ain't much of this, which is crazy. Did somebody message me? There ain't much of this. Come on, internet. At least be good now, okay?
Here it comes, chat. The cross-examination.
This one's
of
gonna matter.
Tectone versus Pink Chew.
This one's
This
gonna
is
matter.
Now Pink Chew's lawyer going after Tectone in all that is. So as of this moment, Tectone is denying basically that he ever talked to her.
Yep.
Tectone said some really fucking pathetic things.
Yep.
Tectone really was fucking horrible on the
Yep.
stand and did a absolutely
Yep.
terrible job. He just wouldn't answer the questions. He was constantly going off tangent.
Yep.
He admitted that he wouldn't have sex with them. He admitted that vaginas scare them. He admitted it's because he was raped when he was a child.
Yep.
Let's see what else it was. It was Tectone basically went and said, look, I always have appreciated Pink Chew. I still care about her basically, and I want the best for her, and I just want this to be over with. It's just a bunch of baloney. I mean, he's just trying to soften the blow because he is scared of what's about to come with this cross-examination. And that was the part that was supposed to make him look good. Keep in mind, that
I agree.
was his lawyer talking to him.
I
right?
agree,
So
Ms.
that's
Giff.
their
This
course
is
of
such-
action that they planned with 4 other.
And that's what they chose to. And I didn't read it all, but just the summation of it all, it was bad. That's what they decided to. Like the lawyer didn't. The lawyer should literally like. I don't know how much Tectone paid for the lawyer. It better have been nothing, or $1, because it's either the lawyer not doing its job or everything the lawyer had advised Tectone to do, he did not do. Either or maybe there's something in between. But
Lawyers, that was their course of action. It's basically just saying, I haven't really talked to her. I'm scared of vaginas because I was raped when I was a kid, and I am 6'7", and dude, like I love Mythic Talent. All right, let's see.
he was recently removed from Mythic Talent as well, just before all this became public.
Speeding in a 65 to an 80 to go protect her from a cockroach. And when they got pulled over, the officer said, "It's all good, bro. Go get her." As they basically led a police escort to her house, where he jumped out, ran through the wall, grabbed her, pulled her to safety, and brought her all the way back home, and was saved her for the rest of his life. Amen. And everyone clapped. Yes, Tectone did it for a cockroach. He's a hero. All right.
I don't get what just happened there.
Mr. Robertson, this is now Pink's lawyer. This is the cross-examination. This is the final part. We're at 188 out of 225, chap. So let's see what she has up her sleeve, all right?
She's got a lot up her
Let's
sleeve.
see if Ms. Kiff lied about things. Let's see if Ms. Kiff told the truth, because Ms. Kiff said a lot of things. Let's see if Ms. Kiff was lying, all right?
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, we're at page 188. Who do you think's got this in the bag? I'll be honest with you, because I don't know the ending, right? Because Ms. Kiff lies. It's already looking like Tectone, in my opinion, is looking way worse.
Yep.
Because Pink, I think Pink's case makes a lot more sense, and she clearly had a lot more evidence to prove that Pink was getting harassed even after the protective order.
Yep.
And after that, she called a cease and desist.
Yep.
And I don't think they really had any severe evidence other than the fact that she was messaging him sexually, or she messaged him something sexually, and that it took her 14 months to finally go to the police, right? But it's not the best argument. I think right now it's 50-50 or like maybe 60-40 her. I don't think it's like a big
It's
win.
close to that, yes.
I would say the reason why it's now 60-40 is Tectone was just so bad on the stand, and it's so fake on how he acted.
Yep.
I don't think he realizes that lawyers can see through that, and judges, and it's like, dude, Tectone is so bad. That was crazy what he said. It's really bad. When I say 60-40, I mean Tectone's still really fucking disgusting and really bad, and they have evidence to prove that with receipts. But is it enough for Tectone to get the 10 years? No.
No.
All right. Let's see. He talks way too much. Notice how when Pink talked, she said yes, no, maybe so. I
Yeah,
don't know.
she did. Very
Tectone
smart
went into
witness.
massive detail about things that just didn't matter, and his
Yep.
lawyer had to try to stop him.
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. This is Pink Chu's lawyer against Tectone. So this is when Tectone is now getting cross-examined when he is now in trouble. By Mrs. Locke. Mr. Robertson, did you ever engage in vaginal
Oh
intercourse
my
with my
God.
client? No, ma'am. And why are you up here? Aren't you a woman? Can't we get like a man up here or something? What's going on here, guys? No, ma'am. Okay. And did you ever perform any oral sex on my client? No, ma'am.
That's so bad.
So Tectone admits here that he never in his life gave her pleasure in
This
2
is
years of dating
on
her,
oath,
and
man.
she only gave him head every time he asked for.
Guys, I want to interrupt this program while my internet sucks ass and finish this off by saying this is the Andrew Tate complex. And if you or if any of you have ever gravitated towards someone like Tectone and realized that he never pleasured his woman, that's the Andrew Tate philosophy, by the way.
2 fucking years. He admits it, and that's what his claim is. Not just because vaginas are scary. So he said that's vaginas are scary. That's why he won't have sex. Why won't you give her oral sex? Why wouldn't you reciprocate anything? You did nothing for her because vaginas are scary. Since vaginas are scary, not only will you not fuck them, you will not put your finger near them.
Don't make no sense.
Here we go. Okay, did you ever perform oral sex on my client? No. Okay, in fact, the only one that received any kind of sexual satisfaction was from her. Is that correct? Direct. Yes, but she would obviously pleasure herself while doing this, which, oh, yeah. Okay. So in the romantic relationship you had, would you consider that the only person actually getting physical sexual contact from the other partner to be a normal one, like what you had with her? So he literally admits there that Pink Chu would want pleasure herself, but she wouldn't ever get it. That's an amazing question to ask. So in the romantic relationship you had, would you consider that the only person actually getting physical sexual contact from the other partner to be the normal one, like what you had with her? Unfortunately, in my mind, it was normal. That's how my previous relationship was as well. So I thought it was just normal. Tectone is trying to claim here in his massive bullshit lie that Tectone's trying to say that he never had sex or ever pleasured the other partner even throughout entirety of marrying and dating Freem because he thought it was...
All right. This is such a fucking hyperbolic statement. My shortcomings are unfortunate, but I would have if I thought I had the capability to be a better partner. Bro, you literally talk for 10 hours a day on stream. If you're able to talk, that means you're able to move your tongue. If you're able to move your tongue, that means you're able to be a better partner, specifically in bed. We don't need, like, I ain't getting over this conversation. We're not doing this conversation again, but you all know what I'm implying here. Okay. He can use his tongue in his mouth. Okay. It's an effective tool to normalize this relationship. Trauma aside, difficulties aside, I get all that. I get if that's scared, if that's a scary thing for him. That's all things that he might have should have considered before he got in a relationship, and why it was so abnormal and potentially abusive.
was just normal. When this dude talks about sex and sexual content for a living, and he says he thought it was just normal. Like the biggest lie I've ever heard in my entire life. Under oath, by the way, that he claims is so important as a right-wing political streamer that being under oath is important to tell the truth. So help you God, Tectone. So help you God, by the way. And you claim it's under oath, so help you God, the one that you pretend you fucking care about, that you just lied, that you said, I thought it was just normal. Bullshit, Tectone. You literally talk about sex all the time on every single one of your Genshin streams and your streams in general. You talk about how cool it is for sex, how cool you are. You know what's normal. Everyone knows what's normal. It's fucking the person. It's having a romantic relationship. You know that's not normal. My shortcomings are unfortunate.
Don't do it, Miss Kiff. Just go with it. Run with it. Stop trying to find the meme for it. I'm not even looking. I know what he's trying to do. Stop.
No.
Don't look for another one. Just go.
Here we go. Okay, so then this romantic relationship you had, would you consider that only person actually getting physical sexual contact from the other person to be a normal one? Like what you did with her?
Stop. I can't. I'm not doing it.
Tectone straight up just admitted what he did. He straight up admitted right there what he did. He literally admitted it. Okay. Have you ever also said online after you were made aware of these allegations by my client?
Wait a minute. Okay, and in fact, your exact statement, February 5th of 2000, so after these alleged lip fillers, they make your lip look fuckable as shit, but the problem is anyone who has lip fillers cannot worth the damn. It sucks because if they suck too hard, I'll fill up. Yeah, I became very familiar with the flaws of lip filler.
That you are one of the only streamers who has documented a blowjob machine? Pikachu did describe her as my sweetie pie hover hoover machine. Yes. Okay. Well, you were actually on your stream on February 3rd of 2025 actually stating, I'm the only one. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. I'm of the only streamers who has had documented blowjobs. Is that correct? Yes. I was attempting to make light of the situation. You're making light of someone accusing you of alleged sexual assault. Yeah, does it? Fuck it, dude.
That's
Because
right.
if I take it too serious, then everyone's gonna think it's real. And when you're in a self-defense mode, you kind of just gotta say, you know, anything to save face. Because when people are calling you a rapist every day, I mean, you gotta let it roll on the shoulders and make a joke. And so the best way to defend yourself is to make the other person basically a whore, correct?
Oh my fucking God.
I didn't believe that's the best way to do that. Well, that's what you've done. I mean, the first thing you said when you testified today was that she was the most forward.
This fucking lawyer is insane. Insane. But you know what? I already said this, like I said before. I precursored this. What you do on the online discourse and social media and stuff like that, don't play in court. It just doesn't. You don't play nice in court.
Woman that you ever had in your life on day one. I don't think calling someone forward is calling them a whore. Really? When you talked about, you said you liked long tongues and she exposed her tongue. You thought that was appropriate behavior. It was probably inappropriate. That's probably what made it attractive. Maybe though. Can we have a break? I'm having hives. I'm just not used to it. Okay, so do you not see that you are painting her in particular light when you talk about these things in open court? I can only give you an accurate representation of the truth. If it makes someone appear in a certain way, that's not really against or not really my intention. I'm just trying to give you an accurate representation.
He thinks he's winning. And he's only deepening his case.
Slut! Okay.
I mean, I will say, you know, President Trump, Andrew Tate have given men a really bad image, a really bad guide as to what you can do. And I'm not saying every court would, or every lawyer would be this effective, because maybe that's, you know, the point. But if they are, this is why that kind of rhetoric does not. And let's be very clear: Donald Trump was convicted. He just pardoned himself.
So tell me this, Miss. My client actually had a house that she was renting in South Austin at the time that she moved in with you. Is that correct? Yes, ma'am. And she was actually making about $10,000 a month or so. Isn't that correct? I don't think it was making that much. No fucking way. What? I'm asking. Oh. Is that your understanding that because you have testified that she didn't have money, that's why she needed to move in with you, correct? And I need to slow down. I'm sorry. Did I testify that? I thought I just said she didn't enjoy her house and she wanted to move in. Okay. So she actually broke her lease. Uh-huh. You literally said that, Tectone. Oh my God. To move in with you. Is that correct? Yes. And there were actually not a bunch of roaches. There was one roach, and you all made it a joke to tell people that there were roaches all over the house when there was only one. Oh, okay. Is that correct? Oh, that could be correct. It's been so fucking long, dude. I just accepted that at what it is. I thought you had more roaches. I cannot believe this is fucking real. I cannot believe that Tectone really did this. There was one roach, and Tectone tried to make it seem so much more important than it was on the witness stand. This dude is such a manipulative liar. He tried to make it in court that he was just like, the driver thought I was cool, the doctor had long hair, my fucking locks were in the wind. He's just lied, and she got called him out.
This is fair.
20 minutes later.
There was
just one roach.
This is fair. It's true.
That could be correct. It's been so long that I just accepted that is what it is. I just thought she had fucking more roaches, dude. It's just their faces were melting. It's weird. Well, wouldn't that be different than what you actually told the law enforcement officer? Remember the detail you just went into a minute ago? Yeah. About the police stop on the way? She called because there were roaches, dude. Okay, and then you had her sell all of her furniture from her rental house. Yep. Okay. Well, I wouldn't say I had her do it, but that's definitely happened. Okay, so you and also at the time of the lawsuit, you wanted her to sign an NDA because you didn't want all of your ex's wife allegations public. Isn't that correct? Can you repeat that? Sorry. I just imagine like Tectone's lawyers like giving him like cues behind him, like a catcher, like telling him to shut the fuck up. Sure, we talked about the lawsuit, correct? Of course. And you tried to paint it that you were not involved in it. In fact, wanted nothing to do with it, correct? I tried my hardest not to be part of it, but obviously when Pink was worried about it, I tried to assist my girl.
Oh,
and in fact, what was the
no,
attorney's
he
name that
just
handled that?
fucking capitulated it. He just capitulated he just corroborated it. What a fucking idiot.
I'm actually not familiar. Attorney, is it that guy on YouTube? I got him a Mythic deal? Aaron, you don't remember Aaron? No, I'm not familiar with Aaron. Okay, are you familiar with Alex Content? Not familiar with that guy either. Okay, and you weren't originally behind the lawsuit when it started, but after you all broke up is when you withdrew your support of the litigation. One more time, sorry, I need Advil. Sure, you were actually on my client's side, Pink Shoe's side, on that lawsuit up until the time you all broke up when you withdrew your support of that lawsuit. Really? Yes, I tried to support Pink with whatever she needed. Bruh. Including attacking your fucking ex-wife until you didn't need to anymore? Are you serious? Is he serious? And in fact, what your concern was not whether she would do it or not. You were concerned more about the NDA language and some violation of that may possibly involve you, correct? So Tectone is basically admitting here that he was helping Pink when he wasn't allowed to because he signed a fucking NDA with Freem. So he was not supposed to be helping her at all, but he just did. His excuse was, I tried to support Pink with whatever she needed. So he literally admits he broke the NDA with Pink, with Freem. He literally admits it here that he tried to help her with what she needed, and he broke the NDA. This is fucking insane.
It is insane.
And in fact, what your concern was not whether she would do it or not. You were concerned more about the NDA language and some violation of that may possibly involve you, correct? My intentions were to kind of just assist Pink. I mean, obviously, I think I could toss myself a bone in those situations. I'll do it. But I mean, it's mainly just about Pink, being okay. Okay, you would agree with me as you've indicated that it's important to be honest with your viewers, correct?
Oh, God.
Correct. All right. And you've told your viewers that you will have schizophrenia, correct?
Oh, God.
Yeah. And you, in fact, suffer from schizophrenia. Is that right? No. I mean, yes. See, I told you I have schizophrenia. Fuck, dude. I don't even think I have it. If by suffer you mean diagnosed, yes, I wouldn't really consider it suffering. It's, well, who is your mental health provider that tells you this information? ChatGPT. My mental health provider was just like a psychiatrist from New Mexico State University back in freshman year.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
So he's been off his medication and didn't deal with the fact that he had schizophrenia for a decade and a half. So for 15 years, Tectone just didn't really care about the fact that he had schizophrenia and was off his medications. He just said, whatever.
I'm not making light of schizophrenia. People who suffer from schizophrenia are not all serial killers. They're not all murderers. I'm not even saying they all have the tendency to do that. At the same time, it is something that you do have to constantly deal with. I'm not sure if medication is the only way to treat it. I'm not even sure the side effects of the medication that does treat it, or how effective those are. But yeah, I mean, this is obviously a serious condition that Tectone should probably figure out.
Seeing a psychiatrist from New Mexico State University freshman year of his college. Holy shit. And I just said, hey, sometimes I think I see things that aren't there. And he goes, you're schizophrenic. Take these fucking pills.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's just the case, that's because it's not how that works. It's so fucking stupid. It doesn't mean he's schizophrenic, by the way, if that's the case. If that's the diagnosis.
Wait a minute. You said you're on your stream. The court heard it. Yeah. That you are schizophrenic and you have hallucinations once a month. Is that correct? Yeah. And are you telling this court under oath that you are not seeking mental health treatment for a serious mental health condition? It's very much under control. I mean, the worst that I really get is like, you know, like Pink said, I'll see a face and I'll almost kill someone in a car accident. It's like
Dude, I don't know if he's trying to like seek treatment or call for help. No wonder why she had to sign a protective order. How is this not brought up in the I don't get it.
it's fucking whatever, dude. And you think that's okay to go out without medical supervision. My experience with medication kind of turned me into a zombie. It almost got me to end my own life. So I kind of fear medication because the last time I attempted to OD, bro. Like, dude, are you
That's
really bringing
fine.
it up right now, Doc?
No, I
Really?
do think medication can be very prohibitive to a lot of people. And their first reaction to it can be really bad. You can have an allergic reaction. You can have a very bad side effects. Like some of these medications do inherently create worse conditions than the actual condition itself. I'm sympathetic to this, but at the same time, it's so difficult to navigate this. It really is. I mean, it doesn't look good, and for this particular use case with all the other evidence against him, yeah, this is deserving of a protective order just in this particular encapsulation.
Again, can we get the real lawyer in here, not this fucking whore? Are
That's-
you aware of
that's
the
fair.
consequences of being an untreated schizophrenic? No. Are you aware that being untreated can lead to worsening psychosis, including hallucinations and delusions? I'm sure of a more severe case of schizophrenia would be Hassan Piker!
I don't think there's. I don't know if there is levels of schizophrenia. I think it's all just schizophrenia. And he's not even diagnosed, so he didn't even have to bring this up. If he's not diagnosed, if it's not in his medical records, he didn't have to agree to this. He could have said no and had her prove otherwise.
Well, but tell me this. Are you a licensed medical professional? No, ma'am. Okay, so how would you know that serious or not your case of schizophrenia is? Damn, that's a really good point. I guess it's kind of a goofy fuck. There's this movie
Oh my god.
called The Beautiful Mind. And so I was like, man, his mind is messed up and mine is nothing compared to that. So, you know, I hear people like talk to people who aren't there, but I'm just like, what's that? Oh, it's gone. Oh my fucking god. Are you fucking kidding me? He mentions The Beautiful Mind? And that's his reason why he doesn't get his schizophrenia treated ever for 15 years? It's because he's just like, it's not as bad as this guy, a fucking movie. Are you kidding me? Tomorrow night we're doing movie night. We are watching A Beautiful Mind. Oh my god, are you fucking serious?
You can't
Are
make
you
this
kidding
shit
me?
up.
He straight
You
up
can't
says,
make this
I
shit
guess it's
up.
kind of goofy. There's
You-
this movie called
yeah.
The Beautiful Mind, and so I was like,
He's under oath, but you don't have to do this. You don't have to say shit like that.
man, his is messed up and mine is nothing compared to that. So, you know, I hear people like who like talk to
I mean, and she did not know this was gonna happen. Like, she's just smart. She knows how to lead and continue to ask follow-up questions. Yeah, right, Liddy. That's what legal mind will make you think because of a biased court. I mean, it's so fucking. You cannot make this shit up.
people. Like, do you think you talk
I'm
to
sorry about my connection too, Lydia. It's just I don't know. My internet's fucked, and I'm not gonna stop streaming and restream because I'm already into this. But
fucking Mr. Owl from the fucking Tootsie Pop commercial, dude? Like, you're fucking almost killed Jimmy here, apparently. You fucking ruined people's lives for decades, and you're just like, oh, a movie says I'm not as bad? You're insane, Tectone. You're a batshit insane dude. This is fucking insanity. And honestly, you need a straitjacket. You actually need a fucking straitjacket. You are crazy, bro. You don't just need this protective order. You need a straitjacket. You're nuts. You're actually nuts. You ruined your court case in 30 minutes because you just wouldn't shut up and you lied under oath twice now. And now you're saying the reason why you don't think your schizophrenia is bad is not because of anything with psychology, anything with anything. It's the beautiful fucking mind. What the fuck?
yeah, he should never went
What
to
the fuck?
court. This is the worst case scenario for him. I think Brax and Muchin had this stuff leaked to them. You know, I mean, Mythic Talent separated from Tectone just before this. I'm sure they knew the information as well.
I can't believe this. I cannot. Can you guys believe this?
I mean, I can believe it. I've talked about it.
Can you believe this? Okay, are you aware that it can lead to
Something tells me, Liddy, he stopped conveniently before this part. Because at the end, there was some loose threads that you could have with the Pink Chew, but listen, even the Pink Chew stuff on its own is actually in her favor. Because at the end, even after cross-examination, her lawyer is able to literally strengthen her case still. In this case, there is no way his lawyer is going to be able to come back from this. It's not even pertinent. It's just some stupid shit that's been happening in this back and forth. Like, And it's all his doing because of what he's allowing, what he's saying as a response.
Chronic. You have a neurobiological deterioration from not getting treatment from schizophrenia. I can absolutely believe that. I feel fucking nuts. Okay. Are you aware that medication and therapy can significantly reduce your psychosis and allow for better
Oh my
functioning?
god.
Yeah, I fucking believe that for sure, dude.
Oh my god. 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 The judge must be fucking rolling her eyes secretly. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It's something
Yeah,
else.
for sure. Okay, so what medications are you currently taking? I just take multivitamins and fish oil, so nothing. What do you think his lawyer's doing right now? What do you think his 5 lawyers are doing?
Stabbing
I
himself in the
imagine they're
leg.
just ordering Uber Eats because they just realize this is so fucked, or they're like picking what.
I think when Tectone came to their office, and literally broke down his case, or what he's accused of, I think as soon as he left, they all literally went into their lunchroom or whatever, their break room, and they started laughing hysterically. They're like, "Bro, we're gonna get so much money from him, and we're basically we're gonna lose because there's really no saving this guy or something to that effect." I don't fucking know, but I mean, come on, how? How?
What maybe like a restaurant to go to and just being like, yeah, you want to go here? Like, yeah, like I just imagine they're just like, we're so done with this guy. Like, he fucking is insane. She's literally the lawyer's asking fantastic question. Pink Shoe's lawyer, fantastic question.
Yeah.
And Tectone is just folding under the pressure, folding. I just take multivitamins and fish oil, so nothing. Like, you really don't take anything for your schizophrenia. Not one thing that you, even a pseudoscience that you believe in. You take multivitamins and fish oil. Okay.
And this is for a protective order. So she's trying to emphasize this about psychopathic tendencies, the ability to go catatonic or get worse. It's all to get the protective order granted. That's it. That's all she has to prove. That's it. That's all she has to prove. She doesn't have to prove anything else, and he's allowing her to do all of it.
And what therapy are you doing to help reduce your psychosis and allow for better functioning? No therapy, ma'am.
Oh shit.
Okay. When was the last time you sought therapy? With a registered professional? I don't recall. I don't believe I've ever. Just kind of just checking in with my homies and seeing if I'm okay and talking about my problems. That's about it.
Yeah. Andrew Tate level syndrome here. I get it.
No fucking way, bro.
Way.
I feel like at one point Tectone said he goes to therapy or he's going to start therapy.
He
Didn't
did.
he say that?
Oh, he said that.
I feel like he absolutely said that.
He, as usual, Pink doesn't have to say much. Tectone makes himself look bad. True. I'm pretty much done with this at this point. It's over. No matter what he says now, it's never gonna come back from this.
So his working on himself is sitting around a fire, talking to his homies, and taking fish oil pills. That's working on yourself when you have schizophrenia. Are you kidding me? You have schizophrenia is what you're trying to claim you have from New Mexico, and you've never treated it? She's 100% right in knowing this, and she's smart for understanding schizophrenia.
And listen, this is for a protective order. That's all she's trying to establish. And it's extremely effective.
The more you don't treat it, the worse it can get. The worse it can get. Okay, when was the last time you sought therapy? With a registered professional? I don't recall. I don't believe I've ever. Just kind of throw a frisbee around, see a tree melt and just like jerk off to my fucking sprinkler or something. I don't know. Like, dude, what?
A tree melt.
Okay. Are you aware that one of your challenges of schizophrenia is lack of insight by the person suffering from schizophrenia? I actually, I just never looked that up, dude. I'm sorry. Fuck. Okay, Pink, did I ever do that to you? Fuck, I'm sorry. If that's the case, I'm fucking sorry, but, like, I didn't know. Am I allowed to do that? Can I talk to Pink? Can I just, like, get up and talk to her? Pink, can I, like, no. I actually did not know that. Okay. And that people with schizophrenia often don't realize they're ill, making them resistant to treatment. Are you aware of that? No, I didn't know.
I think this is a fair question, and I actually think this is favorable to Tectone in many aspects. It doesn't mean that a protective order wouldn't be granted, but what it does mean is that if he does go on treatment, and then he's going to ask for an appeal, or I don't know if it can just ask for a new trial. At the point where he is being treated, everything is normal, and then this is reestablished. I think that protective order can be taken off. I think that is the most likely outcome now. The appeal process is not going to work.
That schizophrenia, often people don't realize they are ill, making them resistant to treatment. I didn't know. Okay.
Unless he's using schizophrenia as a defense, because right now, here's the alternative, right? There's been no medical professional can't come in that we know of. Maybe there is medical records that do actually talk about his diagnosis of schizophrenia, and they've already established that in the court. But this is just hearsay. Obviously, he's on record to the best of his knowledge, he is schizophrenic. He might just be using that as an excuse, thinking that's a good excuse to kind of like make him seem more mentally unstable. Therefore, he doesn't actually have guilt. When in reality, it's not really something he suffers from. But I don't know if I even believe that.
Judge, may I approach? All right. We're going to look at this one first. You've indicated that you were immediately called a pedophile and a rapist, correct?
Uh-oh.
So you finally see my side, huh? Finally. I'm not the bad guy. Yes. Yes, I did. Yes, I fucking did, dude.
Is she going to bring in gotcha? Is she going to bring in lolly content? Don't tell me she's going to bring in lolly content. Is this girl a genius? Does she know how these online gotcha scenes work? Is she going to do that? Is she going to bring in Genshin and the narrative around Genshin Impact? Is she able to do it? Is she able to do it?
Let's all get out of here. Come on, guys. I'll buy us smoothies. You want smoothies? And that was a direct result of the comments made by my client on her sub account. Is that correct? Yes, ma'am. And you would tell me where on that threads you're looking at. Will you tell the court where exhibit number that is referring to, the one with her tweet? I drew like a circle. We do that on YouTube to like get more views. Like we draw an arrow to a circle. Like it's fucking sick. It actually worked. Loro actually made this for me. Am I referencing the picture? Yes. Okay. So what's the exhibit number? Is that exhibit 11? Thank you. Yep. Like I'm doing way too much work for this shit. Now tell me where on the side she refers to you as a pedophile. Oh. Nowhere. Like, not at all. Okay. Did you hear my question where I just asked you where she said you were blaming her for them calling you a pedophile or rapist the very next day?
She's going to do this instead.
When someone's okay with calling you a rapist, they're not going to draw the line at pedophile or abuser. Because once you kind of open the gateway of, like, hey, this guy's a rapist, if anybody's ever going to fight him on, well, he's a rapist, but I wouldn't say a pedophile. People are just, it opens the floodgates. They're going to call me anything they want. They're going to call me anything I want now.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Okay,
he is right about that.
Even though my client never referred to you as a pedophile, it's her fault that you were called that. Once you get a guy called a rapist, I don't think there's anything worse than that. So might as well just throw it on the fucking the grill and call me a pedophile. Are you kidding me, Tectone? Are you kidding me? I would say there's you are fucking serious. You were trying to say that the reason why you're called a pedophile is because she said you sexually assaulted her. Tectone, it's not because of that. It's because of the gotcha games you fucking play.
Yep.
Bro. Like, are you kidding me? It's not because of that.
Fair.
He's fucking lying. And keep in mind, Tectone is a right-wing grifter that tries to pretend that he actually cares about God and the justice system, yet he's straight up lying under oath. He's straight up lying under oath. You think molesting children...
He's trying to make that assertion that she's the one that caused all of that. when Miskiff makes the right um assertion that it's because he plays gotcha, and that association is what then, obviously if he's known as a rapist and then also he listens or he watches Lolly, you put two and two together. you know I'm not going to do that because I don't want to say it again.
Is not nearly as bad as being called a rapist? Exactly the question I would ask. Oh, so you think raping children is not bad as being called a rapist, right, Tectone? Is that what you're saying? You think molesting children is not nearly as bad as being called a rapist?
Jesus.
No, it's actually terrible. Fuck. Okay, let's talk about, give me 1 second, Judge. So let's go over a couple of, those subtweets that you were getting and receiving in those days after. Those actually don't show anything the same day after her tweet. Isn't that correct? Yeah, I saw it on the 20th. Okay, so your testimony was that you received it within moments of it being published on the internet.
No objection from the other lawyer, by the way. Not even just to give Tectone a little bit of a hint or procedure or anything. I mean, I'm not even saying he has a reason to object or whatever, but just do it. Just do it out of principle.
Was incorrect, right? No, it was correct. The tweets that I pulled were just kind of like last second. I could probably dig more, but I haven't dug.
Oh, this was at 15 minutes. 15 minutes. That was the one that he talked about based on the notes. There you go. 15 minutes. That was part of the notes. Idiot. Last second. And if you don't care about your defense, the judge is not going to care about your defense. It's your responsibility to defend yourself. You hired lawyers. They don't just go do this. You have to provide them stuff too. Obviously, Pink was a lot more involved in her case than you were yours. So, and that matters. Especially civil court.
Exactly what I said, Twitter. That is exactly what I said.
That's fair.
And that's what people didn't want to believe me on. They thought I was a liar. By the way, let's see what this is. Hey, brother, therapy changed my life, and there's no shame in it. There's no way, Tectone. There's no way you said this. Therapy changed my life, and there's no shame in it. It might take some time to find the right one, but it's all worth it. Yup. I knew it. I knew I've seen Tectone tweet that shit. I can't even respond. I'm blocked. Are you kidding me, Tectone? You fucking lied under oath. Or you lied in general. You've lied. You just lie. Like, he literally fucking lies. Where is it? Where is it?
Let's go. Let's keep it going.
Link it in tweet. No? You think it's because of Pink Chew from 2 years ago? I would absolutely say they were one of the root causes as well as an exasperation. Okay. So
trying to blame everything on her. I mean, she's blaming everything on him. Can he do it for her? And the lawyer, Pink's lawyer, is literally dealing with that issue right now.
It doesn't have anything to do with your current white privilege comments and propaganda and racist towards whites.
What
has,
the?
Nothing to do with your death threats. Is that correct?
Oh
so
my God.
That, when all those things came out, I lost pretty much a large chunk of my audience. And content creators, because you stopped buying my viewbots, and content creators have to pivot what they're doing to other topics or they'll lose access to a demographic. Originally, I never really covered anything political or talked about anything political, like white privilege. It's fucking sick. You got to try it out. But yeah, I would say my content definitely had to find a new route on how to be successful online. And so, unfortunately, because I hate what I fucking do right now, but I do it anyway, I had to make a little bit more extreme comments to be successful in the career that I'm in now. Well, and that's as recent as October 2025 that you were making statements with regards to white supremacy and people being racist against white people. Is that correct? just to make sure, are you saying that I'm a white supremacist? Is that what you're saying? I'm asking about your post with regarding what the fuck?
In terms of the court, this kind of discourse online is considered that. There is no definitionally, or that's probably not how you say it. That's not, I don't think that's even a word. I think there are clear defining terms for racism. What are the other words? Prejudice, all these things, right? In the dialogue that Tectone has spewed online is similar in tone to those terms, or how you would define it, which is how she's able to make this logical leap in the court of law. And this is why what you do online, social media, does not play well in court. It just doesn't. It never has. It never will. I mean, it might if our court completely becomes a clown show. But currently, it's got a lot of procedure and precedent.
What did I say? Fuck. Okay, let's talk about October 28th, 2025. So I think, who is Valkyrie? Whore! I mean, she's like a very successful content creator dating one of the largest leftist political content creators in the world. Listen, dude, I'm going to say pink stain, but I'll never fucking speak that goddamn Turkish fucking piece of Okay, so yes, I can't say her name. Valkyrie. If you treat someone different or assume someone's past is based on their race, that's racist. Yes, even to white people. Is that correct? Yeah, for some reason the internet believes that if you judge someone based on their skin color, it's bad unless you're white. And then it's okay. So I've talked about that briefly on the internet. That maybe a little bit more than briefly at this point. Like, fuck, how much? And you refer to Hassan, who is another streamer, as a terrorist supporter and a dog abuser, correct? Yeah. He electrocuted that thing. Like, did you see that, dude? Like, fuck, dude. Threw a toaster at that bitch. And he says Hezbollah was doing a good thing, and I don't even think supporting terrorism is a good thing, nor is it abusing your animals, right, dude? White privilege is propaganda the real racists have been using to be racist towards whites for things they never did for decades. You posted that on October 27th of 225. Is that right? Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Okay, but the death threats originated because of my client's post where she didn't name you in November of 2024. Is that right? Yeah, you can check the timestamp on the threats if you like. Like, I'll give you some time, sweet cheeks. Okay, how about your stance on trans children? Has that gotten you death threats? Yeah, fuck yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So that didn't come from my client, correct? Correct, but those are far after this whole ordeal happened.
Oh my God, this fucking guy is such an
You blamed
idiot.
my client for those death threats.
That's not good.
How many times are you going to lie under oath, Tectone? Yeah, for the ones in regards to me being a rapist, of course. Why wouldn't I? Okay. I don't think people like rapists. There, I said it. Fuck. Are we done with this shit? Okay, and I think just kind of to wrap things up, you originally talked about being authentic with your audience, and you unfortunately have had a sexual assault experience yourself, and I'm so sorry for that. Oh, thank you, dude.
An
eye for an eye, I say. Let's go, everybody. Come on. Muchachos, come on me. Let's go. Everyone, come on. Free, get in the car. Hey, stop. Just 1 second. And it's okay for you to talk about that experience with your public. Is that right? Of course. So then why is it okay for you to talk about your experiences, but my client cannot talk about her experiences when she doesn't name you?
Oh, shit. That was part of the notes, too. Twitter.
Damn. That is a very good question. That is a very good question. That is a really good question. She buttered him up. Damn, she got him. She buttered him up.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I love this. This is fucking awesome. The Tectone's bullshit is the funniest thing I've ever read in my life. She buttered him up because she knew that he would want to talk about it, and he was probably ready to grab a tissue. And then she said, so then why is it okay for you to talk about your experiences, but my client can't talk about her experiences when she doesn't even name you? Well, one, because it didn't happen, and two, because everyone knew who she was referring to. Okay? As you can tell by the viral tweets. All right, and tell me this. Did you ever make her write words on her face when you gave her a blowjob? Yes. Okay, and how many times did you record her?
Here we go.
A lot.
This is the verbatim tweet.
Okay, and how many times did she tell you, no, I don't want to be recorded?
This is exactly the
She didn't
notes
even know about it.
for Axiom.
How many times did she actually agree to be recorded? Every time. She would even hold the camera, okay? It was like fucking playing Pokemon Snap, dude, and I was finding the Moltres in the lava. It was fucking sick. Like every time. Okay, tell me this. You made a reference I thought was interesting about how she tried to have a conversation with you about the non-consensual versus consensual.
Oh my
and it made you
God, here we go.
uncomfortable, so you didn't want to discuss it. Oh, she said she would be okay with consensual, non-consensual because she was so forward. She's like reading his hand. Because she was so forward about wanting to have vaginal intercourse. She told me that it would be. Lawyer, what did you write here? Okay, if I just tried that while she was sleeping. In which case I said, no, that makes me feel weird, dude. Okay, and so did you tell her that if she wrote, and what is it that you had her write in her face?
Oh my God,
I never had her write slut on her forehead.
Oh.
But I did
He even offered it.
have her write, come in here.
He offered it. He didn't have to offer it.
With an arrow pointing towards her mouth. Okay. And did you tell her that in exchange for her doing that, you would attempt her to have vaginal intercourse with her and
There you
commit
go.
a normal relationship?
There you go.
No. Okay. That was just, dressing up.
Oh.
I'm sorry? That was like dressing up. And what would that be? Like, that's a degrading thing to do to a woman? Is that correct? Oh, no. She was frequently in cosplay for me. Okay. And she would frequently degrade herself. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh my
court under
God.
oath?
Oh my God.
I didn't mean to say that. I was just saying, we would, try different outfits just to see. It was like fucking, you ever watch like the Brats or something, dude? Like, they're fucking slamming, but, does this make things exciting?
So dumb.
How's an outfit the same as writing derogatory statements on someone's face to come here? I guess I didn't really see it as degrading, and it was kind of just both of our idea, just to make the things fun in the bedroom, dude. So it isn't that maybe the problem, Mr. Robertson, that she views what you did as non-consensual and you just don't see it that way? I think if I was ever informed a single time that things were uncomfortable, or she didn't like what she was doing, I would immediately say, well, then let's not do it. To be completely honest, I'm not really a sexual guy at all. Don't really need it. I just do photosynthesis and shit. That's all I fucking do all day. Okay, but that's not true. You actually would sit her down with a whiteboard and go over everything to convince her that she was wrong, right? Well, I'm afraid to see how that connects, but I don't understand in what regard. We have talked with a whiteboard before. So Tectone here is trying to say he doesn't really care about sex, but he would, for some reason, for a
Oh,
guy that
Lydia,
doesn't care-
I'm never watching this. I'm never watching Midskiff again or going on Kick. Like, I don't do this. I'm only here because I couldn't get access to the fucking transcripts. They were $750. I tried to make a deal with the legal fucking guy, and he said he would send me the transcripts after he's done his stream, with a big ass caveat apparently that he wasn't going to do it until he was finished, and therefore he made it part 3, and he never sent me the fucking thing. I can look right now and see if he ever sent it to me. I refunded the money last night, by the way. So if he ever does send it to me, I'll send him back the money. But now it's too late, and I said that on my refund. I was like, this was a timely thing. I offered that amount for that specific time frame because I knew that other people would have it, and there I could just react to them, which is why I have to react to Midskiff. I didn't want to, but I will admit, not everything Midskiff's saying here is dissimilar to what I would be saying in many cases. So in reality, you are correct. This is entertaining, and I wish my internet would fucking be working. It's not, so I'm gonna have to fucking, I don't even have this recorded. It's just what it is. I'm just gonna finish this. I don't care how bad the internet is. It's fucking stupid that it's this bad. Probably being, I don't want to say it.
About sex would constantly go over consensual, non-consensual with her under a whiteboard.
It's probably Tectone that's doing it to me. It's probably Tectone fucking my internet up.
Yeah, and you would use a whiteboard to show her that she was wrong in whatever position she was taking that you all were disagreeing on, correct? Oh, fuck, dude. If we were to have an argument, then we weren't seeing eye to eye. Visual aid really helped her as well as to me. Really helped. Okay, and do you know...
I just want to make it extremely clear, if you can still hear every word I'm saying and just my picture quality is bad. which is what I think is happening here. Everything from the miskiff notes are true. There's not a mischaracterization. There's not there might be a few loose lost in translation kind of things, but the characterization of them are accurate. So, based on that alone, and then everything else that this has provided, yeah, there's no appeal possible in this case. The only way that Tectone is going to basically ever be allowed to not have a protective order against Pink is that if he does it, well, first of all, who knows if this is going to lead to a criminal trial? That's possible, I think, at this point, to some degree. Although I do think the standard of evidence is a little bit too light, and I don't know if it would be successful. I do not think Tectone plays good with the jury, so there's a chance that Pink could win. If he is schizophrenic, he does get treatment, and he shows a consistent pattern of stability, I think he could get off the protective order, and that would ensure that he could own a firearm and stuff like that, which is, something that a lot of people do want to do. So there is that. As far as talking about her ever again, I don't think that's going to ever happen. And he better be careful of kind of what women he chooses to talk about, OnlyFans included, because that now his audience knows is directly related to or potentially a code for Pink. And this court has established that, by the way.
Oh, what coercive control is?
They know. Yeah. Is it true he has gone to the same?
You told her that she had memory problems.
I
believe we had discussions.
I don't think through appeals. I think it probably is a different court. I think you can go to the state court to get an appeal. So this would be more municipality court. This is obviously the 4th District of Travis County, Texas. I think if he did an appeal, he could request it to be the next one up, because there are different branches of the judicial system. So whatever it might be Superior Court. It may not actually be like a federal thing. It might be the Superior Court. So the one above this one might be the one he could appeal for, which could be good. But good luck, because this is all testimony that he's gonna have to counter. He's gonna have to clean it up. I don't know how he cleans it up. He just and here's the crazy thing, and why I think his lawyer did not do him any justice. His lawyer has not objected to any of this any time. His lawyer has been quiet the whole fucking time. When Tectone's lawyer was cross-examining Pink, her lawyer stepped in and said certain things. He hasn't done anything, and we're 15 pages away from being done.
Of her memory not being, as sharp as a tack. Sure, I'm sure we've had conversations about memories. I tried to make her forget about that I have a penis. Okay, and because you believe that her memory recollection, because of what she is saying, my dick is the size of a tack, ma'am. Do I believe her current memory of what happened between us is incorrect? Yeah, dude, absolutely. I have it on video. I mean, I do believe it's incorrect. Yes. Your ex-wife made some pretty awful allegations against you, didn't she? She did, but she...
Okay, and this is where I want to get into how you can get an NDA. And although this is where I want, because Tectone, and obviously now we know everything that Tectone said is a lie. And I already knew that, and that's why I pushed back all these times. But when he said, you can't get an NDA for a crime, well, this is going to preface this by saying your ex-wife made some pretty awful allegations against you, didn't she? The awful allegations were most likely crimes. She was accusing Tectone of crimes. And when push came to shove during remedial court or whatever other kind of thing you do in these NDA or these hearings, that you're able to parse anything and in it, because it hasn't actually been under oath to a certain degree, she can come back and say, no, those weren't true, I just made those up. And then obviously set out of court for an NDA. That's how those things are done. That's how a crime potentially is committed, and you need the accuser to actually go through the entire process in order to be convicted. And if you don't, you can get them to retract their statement and sign an NDA. Technically not a crime, Tectone. Technically not a crime, but you fucking know, and she's alluded to this, the lawyer. That's the difference. I've been right so many times. I've been right 100% of the times, apparently.
He admitted they were all fucking lies. Well,
He
now,
yeah,
remember,
apparently
you
he had
have an
5
NDA,
lawyers, yeah,
So,
did he?
so remember, Tectone's lawyer cannot talk about this, and also Freem can't either. So him saying she admitted to it is not true. He can't.
I think she would have had to in order for the NDA to be to happen, because otherwise it would have been a crime. I think that is the distinction here. So, although I don't believe him, I think this is probably I think this is what happened to some degree.
Can't say that. Oh, it's in the court order. Okay, we had some pretty serious.
I'm an untreated schizophrenia. Get rid of
she made against you.
the protective order, please. Yeah, no. It's not happening. His appeal will not work. He needs to get treated. He needs to show a pattern. That he's willing to continue to be medicated. Like, that all needs to happen beforehand. Absolutely. I'll be right back. My dog is probably need to go out.
So you learned from that marriage what can happen when false allegations, well, not false, I don't know if they were true or not, but you know how to handle allegations like that from your first marriage, correct? I don't think I handled those pretty well. I think I handled those pretty bad. So Tectone admits that he did a very bad job in his first marriage and that he should probably have learned from that from his first marriage. But you definitely knew how to handle it when you had my client in your house, right? I was kind of a mess when that happened, to be honest with you. Well, then tell me this. How many times did you go with her to any of her therapy appointments? I don't think I was invited. Okay, did you tell her what things to get the therapist to get prescribed certain medications?
Wow.
I definitely tried to help her understand.
Oh my
Just try to help
God.
her make sense of what's going on in her.
What a fucking idiot. Also, I want to bring up Tectone has talked about multiple times in the stream about. No, I know. There's so many evidence. There's so many things like that, Liddy. There is.
Fucking head. She wanted to tell me this is kind of happening, and I'd say, well, maybe it's this. I definitely tried to help her in her journey to therapy and medication, bro.
He admitted to it. He's confirming everything she says about him. The judge had no choice but to rule this way. I mean, literally, if the judge ruled any other way, it would be a conspiracy. He could have done 5% less, and maybe if she was bought and paid for, she might have been able to side with Tectone. But he's got so many things that he's connected now to her statements, to Pink Chew's statements, to validate her claim, plus the credibility she already had in the first half of this transcript. There's no way she could have ruled any other way.
And what pharmaceutical background do you have to give her any advice on medication? Oh, I'm not qualified, but I don't think any partner would try to help their partner without their issues. But yet you couldn't help yourself with your own. Oh my God.
This is not even necessary, but she's going to just continue to destroy his credibility. She didn't have to even lead with. She didn't have to follow that up with this question, but she just wants to continue to have him dig the hole deeper.
God, you fucking destroyed. Absolutely fucking destroyed. He would try to tell her what medications to take, and she's like, oh, but you can do it. So you're going to tell my client what to do, but you can't do it for yourself?
She didn't even have to do that. Like, it was fine what was already established. That was fine principally, but she just wants to further make it even worse. Make it worse. Almost kind of that schizophrenia connective tissue. She wants to further that that issue.
Constantly let my client tell her what medication she needs to take, but you can't take medications of your own. And your reason why is you haven't even been to therapy. You haven't even seen psychosis. You just get behind a fire with your friends and talk it out. But you force your girlfriend to go and get what is needed that you think is.
Yeah.
Prescribable and what she needs to get.
Yeah, that's true. That happens.
No background whatsoever. This isn't him telling her to take a Tylenol. This is not him telling him to take an Advil. This is not him saying that this helped me and that this can help you. This is him literally saying that this is stuff you should be taking that I don't know what the fuck he'll do, but you need to take it. Because he doesn't take anything. So he can't be like, yeah, well, it really helped me, and I think we have similar things, so I tried to help her. He doesn't take shit. So he literally is just going to online or somewhere and just figuring this shit out on his own and just fucking changing how she feels. Where she would shake and have quivers and couldn't fucking think straight.
I think, okay, Ms. Kid puts it really well at the end there. I think that, and now he's confirmed it, that he would assist her in the medication. I think that is probably the start of a criminal case. She has a documentation that she sought medical treatment, and that she basically got her medication fixed or corrected while she was there. There's some assertion that he influenced her, and if there's also on record now a protective order with sexual assault being checked off as a reason and stalking as a reason, my friend, that is probably enough to at least start a criminal case. Apparently Pink's lawyer was a former governor or something like that. I don't know if, I think it might have been Tectone's lawyer that was a former governor, but either way, no, whoever this lawyer is that Pink has, wow. And the other lawyer that Tectone has, if there's 5 of them, you wouldn't know that Tectone had a lawyer. You think he's representing himself with how much he's saying and not having any objections from the from counsel.
But yet you couldn't help yourself with your own. Yeah, as a result of poor experiences with my own medication. I passed the witness. Mr. Poirier, anything else? No, Your Honor. The court, Mr. Robertson, you can return to your attorney.
What the fuck? Dude, you just got literally fucked by your lawyer. He didn't even have a cross. Are you fucking kidding me? He didn't even have a cross. That might have been the worst part of this. He wasn't even, the lawyer didn't even present, didn't take notes about what just happened to try to correct the record, because you know why? You don't want to know why? Because there was no correcting that. You can't correct that. Guys, this judge had no choice. This judge had literally zero choice. I've given Tectone the benefit of the doubt on yesterday's live stream and on the first video I made after coming back. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said he could appeal. He could have appealed. There's no appeal in this. It's done. It's closed. It's over. The only way he can remove his protective status now, if ever, is if he is schizophrenic and he gets put on medication. If he's not schizophrenic, it's even worse because he lied under oath. And I don't even know if that's even going to be an issue, because technically he shouldn't even have said that. And because he said that, they used that against him, which they're allowed to do. And that's effective for getting this order granted. So I don't even think that works. Yeah. So guys, so all you Andrew Tate loving, Tate licking, and I mean it, not Andrew Tate. You know what I mean? Tate licking. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. But you're doing it to Tectone, not anybody else. Naysayers, these fucking people, these cultist, sheepish, turtist people that I've been talking about forever. You go ahead and keep supporting this person. This non-rehabilitated person, who probably has not changed any. And if you looked at his recent videos, he has like a tick now. He does like a tick with his mouth now. He does this when he's talking. I don't know if that's because he's medicated. I don't know if that's because he's on medicated. I don't know if that's because he's having an issue. I'm telling you right now, guys. Everybody that's watched him, if you're watching this, I doubt you are, especially with my internet being as bad as it is. Who would watch me? I wouldn't watch me either. At 43% drop frames this entire stream. I swear to God, I'm being fucking doxxed. We'll see. Anyway, it don't really matter. Yeah, I don't know. We're done with this. I have to get off because my stream has been so horrible.
Table, please call your net witness. Holy shit. Absolutely destroyed.
As put on the statements, court may not, but to get the crux of why we're here.
Actual Rebozo. I think it's reasonable in John's situation to defend himself against those accusations online. Now, what's good for those happen.
So he's going to use his closing argument as a way to counter that argument. It's horrible. He deserved to lose. There's really nothing else to say about that. I'm done. I will make a video about this probably. Maybe I'll edit this one. I doubt it because of how bad it is. Oh, I'm actually interested in what Legal Mindset says, but I'm only going to watch 3 minutes of that guy. I never watched him before. I'm not really watching him after. But I am curious of what these so-called people who say the judge is biased, the attorney's biased,